How's it going, everybody? We are back, and we're recording on YouTube. Give me 1 second, and we'll get the show started. Let me just get the music set and ready.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? If you're listening, or if you're watching, rather, you're not listening yet. Well, not listening. Only,
What
I
if
guess.
you're tuned in and not looking at the screen? You're listening.
Well, I guess that's.
I
a
do that in the
possibility.
shower. Come on, bro.
I didn't need to know that. Thanks.
Wow.
But anyway, let me see.
listen to
Yep,
us
we're
in the
good there. We're
shower?
good there. Okay, I think I can.
I listened back to this podcast in the shower, so I'm gonna say hello to myself in the future.
I don't.
Bro.
I'm really
What?
tripped out right now. All right, let's see.
That makes me very uncomfortable knowing
DJ,
that.
you got the banner wrong again.
Well, I didn't change it, and I wasn't gonna try.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, just Jeff?
Yeah,
and Yep.
Matt bailed, man.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
All right, let's see. All right,
So
I am. There we go. We got
I
that.
don't know. Oh, we're gonna have intro music this week. Nice.
Yeah. I got it working.
No
Don't know how.
beatboxing for me.
Yeah. Although I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny.
I thought it was terrible.
I mean, it was, but I kind of liked it. All right, so let me know. Let me see where we're at here.
It was, but I kind of liked it. Thanks, DJ.
Listen,
I appreciate it.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I genuinely appreciate it.
No, like I mean, the production level was low, but like it was entertaining. All right, you guys ready?
It's like a lot of great movies.
No, I have to drop something in the chat.
Oh, you want to drop that in the chat first
No, wait, what?
before I start the intros?
Oh yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
Okay, here we go. The second race of the playoffs is in the books, and there were multiple tire failures. Is this pressure of the playoffs or something more serious? We are here for the speed. What is up, guys? My name is DJ. I'm with Here for the Speed. Thank you for joining us on YouTube, on the podcast. If you're listening in the future, that's pretty cool, like Jake in the shower. In case you can't tell, my voice is destroyed. I've been trying to get over. My daughter had RSV last week, and I think she gave it to me. So, yay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bueno.
Yeah, no fun.
Jake, did you save that whole extra can of Coke just to crack it?
Yeah.
Yep. That was-
You ever listen to 101.1 back in the day? They had the taco bubbler. That's exactly what it
Yeah,
sounded
yeah.
like.
That's
Anyway,
funny, man.
I'm DJ. I'm joined by
Hi, I'm Jacob. What's up?
And I'm just Jeff.
just Jeff.
Oh yeah.
We're a little light on the crew today. Matt had some family stuff to take care of, so he is
Boo.
not joining us, but that's okay. It's just us.
It's just us.
Just us.
Just us.
And Kuzman. Just us
Oh,
and
and
Kuzman.
Kuzman, man.
Yep.
What's up, Koozie?
Kuzman's in. Yep.
Koozie.
So, all right. So let's jump straight into it. Well, actually, let's. Y'all, what'd you guys do? Did you get anything crazy this week?
Man, I was gigging a lot this week. Played a lot of music. Other than that, I don't know. Did that and played Starfield.
Yeah, I think that's been.
Went to
everybody.
work, played Starfield, played music all week, and then watched the race this weekend.
Yeah, that was basically it. It was funny. We talked about getting together, and Jake's like, "Yeah, but I wanted to play Starfield."
Yeah, like, hey, everybody's like, you guys want to hang out tomorrow night? I was like, nah.
No, I want to play. I want to play Starfield. Yeah, I understood. I didn't do anything like super crazy. I guess I just kind of.
You want to mute your phone there, DJ?
I'm gonna be honest, because I had the in-ears in, I didn't hear it, and then I started hearing it from the mic.
I didn't do anything like
Yeah,
super crazy.
we have a request. Can you shut the door over there?
the door. Oh, the bathroom door.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have.
Well,
It's been requested of me.
been requested. Anyway, I didn't do anything super crazy. I started my final semester of college on Monday, so almost done. I'll be done in December. I'm ready to finish up and get on with my life, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no,
Excited. It's
I
been
know
a long
you'll
time
be.
coming.
I know you'll be glad when that's
Oh,
when that's
yeah.
over.
So it'll be a
I've
lot of
known
fun.
you for over 10 years. I think you've been in college for like the same amount of time.
No,
It does feel like that.
So it feels like that because I met Matt in college and I finished my associate's degree. But then I took like a 4 or 5 year break before I went back to school to finish my bachelor's.
And
So
there was your first mistake.
that was a terrible mistake. Highly don't recommend. If you do go, just finish it.
Yeah,
just finish it straight through.
Just run through the whole thing. That way you don't have
But-
to worry about it.
Yeah. So other than that, I just worked and Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
A lot
So
of sports going on right now. So I've
There's
been
a
trying
lot.
to
Lot of
keep
sports.
keep up with all the sports. So baseball's approaching the closing season
don't
of
care.
yeah, I care.
I know, but I don't.
But
so
I mean, baseball's approaching the end of the season,
If you need a
regular
nap.
season,
know what I'm
baseball.
saying?
Yeah.
and then football
Golf
opening
and
week.
baseball.
Yeah, solid picks.
Yeah.
Football opening week. I got to watch the Lions and beat the Kansas City
Gonna
Chiefs.
be
That
honest,
was pretty funny.
I don't really care about NFL, so
Damn,
I don't really either.
DJ don't care about no sports except for NASCAR.
Orlando Magic.
Oh,
And they're
that's
terrible.
true. You
And they're
you do like
terrible, so
basketball.
I
You
don't
like
have
that.
much to go on.
Hardcore.
But baseball and
Magic
hockey
fan.
start in 2 weeks, so that's awesome.
Hockey is exciting, but I just don't have a team to root for. So like,
Just
I don't mind watching it though.
just be
it's-
like me and root for the Rangers, bro. It's great.
But aren't they from New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. No, I don't like any team
Okay.
from New York.
All right.
New York
I
or
like-
New England.
Matt has never watched college football, never been a fan of college football. He's like, well, you like Tennessee, so I guess I like Tennessee. I was like, all right, come on,
There
Like
you
when
go.
I was like a teenager and like
get with us on the rise. You know
when
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
when I was when I
There's
was
a
like
build back year.
when I was a teenager and stuff like that, when I was in like, and even like college age and stuff like early 20s, a lot of my friends were Miami fans. So I just became a Hurricanes fan. And then I was like, yeah, but I don't really follow. So I don't know for good, bad, or like whatever. I just know all our players are probably in jail or something.
Jeez.
Listen, it's like a statistic.
It was pretty cool. I was texting with Mark over the weekend from the pool bar at Daytona. We were
Yeah.
talking about. He was sending me photos and videos of their
Oh, that's
setup.
right. Because, he's
Yeah.
from Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
No.
was sending me photos of like them like running in the stadium. He's like, "We in here, bro!" And I was like,
Oh,
"It was
that's
awesome.
cool.
It was pretty
It
cool.
is-
Pretty high. We'll have to try to go down there one of these days. And
Yeah. That'd be
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Hang
it
out
sounds
with
like fun. When we
Hold on. Sorry, not to cut you off, Jeff.
Yeah.
Do they do anything at Homestead?
You know, I don't know.
I mean, why?
I don't
I
know.
would think he would, but
Yeah,
maybe
he
he
lives-
doesn't want to
lives
camp
right
at his
there.
hometown track.
I don't know.
oh,
I mean, he camps in Miami. Well, not camp, but he sets up the pool bar. So I mean,
yeah,
Maybe.
that's true.
Anyway,
But I was gonna say,
Mark, if you're listening, are you setting up
Sorry.
for
yeah, let's
Homestead?
go. 22nd, October 22nd. Let's go.
anyway, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when we came in today, when we all came in to watch the race, Jake and I we were playing. We played for the same church, but we were at different campuses. So we were talking about everything that was going on. And it was so funny because we were talking about like you were telling me about all the trash talk going on with college football,
Oh, it
Backstage.
was toxic, bro.
and
Toxic.
and it was really funny because it was kind of the same deal at
Like fun,
at our
but
campus.
toxic.
It was
Yeah.
kind of the same deal at the other campus because Jonathan, was a Miami
Yeah.
fan.
Oh, yeah,
Our
yeah,
friend
yeah,
Jonathan's
for
a
sure.
Miami fan, so he
Yeah.
was talking mad.
No, it
smack
was
to
funny.
him.
It's the way it shook out the band that we had today. Like it was like a bunch of college football fans. But
Yeah.
there's no big rivalries until this week, where the other guitar player today and myself, he's a big UF fan, big Tennessee fan. So it was like pleasantry, like, oh, good luck, bro, next week. Da, da, da. It's like, I hope you lose. Under
Yeah.
your breath, you're like hoping for their
Oh,
total
yeah.
demise and failure. But
Yeah,
Good
that's,
week,
That's
good
kind of
week.
how it goes. So,
Excited.
all right. So let's talk about the race. Let's start with the Xfinity just to do that one, and then we'll go into
let's
the
drop
Cup.
it all the way back to the ARCA race. 'cause
Okay,
there-
let's drop
we
it all
got-
the way
we
back
got
to
all
ARCA.
4 series this week,
Mhm.
this weekend. Did you guys watch the ARCA race?
I
or
did
no?
not watch.
I actually didn't know there was ARCA on this week. I just
Yeah,
wasn't paying
tonight. Sorry, or
attention.
not tonight. Friday night. Sorry, like 6.
Let me guess. Jesse Love won.
No, he wrecked out.
Oh wow.
I'm-
That's
actually,
surprising.
now you say that, I can't remember who won. Crap.
I mean, we
forgot.
could look it up.
Anyways,
All we
not
care about
important.
is how
I'm just
different
saying
it
It's
was-
not important.
it
It's
was-
important to them, Jake.
It was a pretty good race, is what I was trying to get to. It was pretty good, and then the truck race was pretty good too.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
got to
felt
watch
like
a little bit of that.
As a whole, we'll talk about Xfinity and Cup, but as a whole, I feel like Kansas is pretty good, and I kind of bring that up to this race. I mean, this track delivers some pretty good racing, and attendance was terrible all weekend.
yeah.
That was weird.
Camping looked good. Camping looked really good from the
Connor,
aerial
Connor
shots.
Mozak.
Yeah, I think attributing
Connor
that.
Mozak won.
Got you.
I think attributing that to it, we were kind of talking about it. I mean, it's just all the sports going on right now. It's opening week for everything or most everything. So
It's tough.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that
Yeah.
might be a big
but,
contributing factor.
So I mean, go to a market this weekend where you're not competing against NFL. Like, I mean, why
Yeah.
would you go to Kansas? I mean, I know they played Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Okay, but still, if you go to an
You can't go
NFL
on the
game
same
on
weekend.
Thursday and then you have a Cup race on Sunday, it's just tough, man.
I think especially opening weekend. I think if you moved it back 1 week, it wouldn't be as bad.
Okay, how about this? Have your opening weekend of the NFL have a Saturday night race, so you're not competing against NFL.
I think you still have the same problem though, because that's 2 big events to for fans to go to. in the
No,
same
I'm
weekend?
just saying in general for TV or for whatever.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know, because you're fighting 3:00 on Sunday, you're fighting NFL as well there too.
I'm just trying
What
to
time?
think.
What time, Jeff? You know, what time are the NFL kickoffs? 1,
The first block is 1:00.
and the next one
I think
4, right?
4, 3.
I think it's
like
4.
It's like 4:30 or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, you're directly competing with the NASCAR race there, and then at the same point, while we're talking about this, so is the IndyCar finale, same time as the NASCAR race.
Well, didn't they get
My
delayed?
goodness, bro.
Didn't Indy get delayed?
I don't think so.
I thought I
I
heard
didn't- I
something that
didn't
they
hear that.
said there was a delay because of a fog or something.
I
I don't know.
Laguna Seca, I doubt it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. I thought I heard them say something about. the
Regardless,
delay,
I mean,
but
the
yeah,
coverage was planned to start at like 2:33. So
that's a lot of events.
green flag for Cup was what 3:30, 3:20,
3:30-ish,
something like
yeah.
that. So
I think that's also why you see NASCAR branching out, especially with like the Xfinity series, to CW
Yeah.
because there's not as much competition there,
well,
and it's
yeah.
another partner that they can kind of spread everything around. Because I mean, if you think about it, MSNBC or not MSN,
I
NBC,
agree with you about
Fox,
the spreading around, but the start time is critical.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
we're getting to the point to where we're really wishing we had 2 or even 3 TVs at this point to be able to try to watch everything because it's all
Did you hear that,
starting at the
Lindsay?
same time.
We're trying to get 3 TVs in here.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about
And,
it. man. Yeah.
I
Me
mean,
and Jake were trying to come up with ways
the
to do it.
reality is like we were already. I mean, we'll get into this later, but like we were already watching the Indy race and NASCAR race pretty much the entire time, just on split screen. So
Yeah, which
I
actually
mean,
didn't.
that
I mean,
actually
it
worked out pretty
it
good.
worked
That's
out-
the first time we've ever done it like that. So
It wasn't terrible.
that was nice, and it was very intuitive. You just get the switch. You can switch the screens or the volume.
Yeah,
which
that
is
actually
awesome.
wasn't bad.
Yeah,
that
it was
wasn't
actually
bad.
kinda
That
nice.
worked. Yeah, that worked pretty good.
But just we need more. We need more
Yeah.
screens.
So, but I mean, as far as like all the races, I think this is it's a 1.5-mile track, right? 1.5-mile
Yeah.
tracks are our bread and butter right now. At least.
I think that's
Yeah, I think
used to be. It's not anymore. It's
Well,
not.
I mean, with this new car
Yeah.
specifically.
Oh, you're
like,
talking about like what produces the best
The best
racing?
racing.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like
I
right
guess
now-
I thought you meant like a consistency thing. It's what we do the
No,
most
no,
of
no.
or whatever.
And what's
My bad.
wild is that Kansas. I mean, I feel like I've said this at one point or another. I can't remember if it was on the show or not, but Kansas specifically used to be like a cookie cutter track.
that
you
was
know,
like a staple.
Yeah.
Like
and it was just like it's like it's Kansas, But then like now it's like
you don't
like,
have that
I
many
mean-
cookie cutters anymore, man.
no,
No.
you don't.
Well, the stat I told you guys today.
Oh, that blew my
the
mind.
last 1.5-mile race was the Coke 600.
That's freaking crazy.
Which is like
man.
wild. You're like, whoa. But then you also think back, like, what really did it for me was like the last Coke 600 race was the same weekend as like the Indy 500, which I was like,
That's
which
a
everybody
lot.
knows Coke 600 Indy 500 is the same weekend, but like
it just
was
sounds
like,
farther away.
Wait a minute, man. Yeah, no, it
That
feels
was a
like
while
twice
ago.
as far.
Yeah, no, Kuzman's right. You need to get one of those overhead arena style TVs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of these, like you can kind of see it a little bit over my shoulder here, but what we're like a little bit like one of the things, but the TV is literally like right on the other side of
Like-
this little wall here. But like, we talked about like getting like an ultra wide monitor and mounting it up above the
Yes,
TV
I
and
like
like
that
having
idea.
2 different images on there.
We
and
just
stuff.
need to get
Build a specific PC to run like 5 different displays across the ultra wide. Get like that. What is it, like a 50? They have like a 54 ultra wide.
The
we
biggest
just need
ones
to
that I
get.
know of, I think, are 49.
Honestly, at this point, we just
Nice.
need to get
It's a
together and just
super
do
ultra-wide.
IMAX. Like we just need to watch NASCAR.
Well,
in
DJ was
IMAX.
trying to get me to buy like that Samsung the wall thing, and I was like, bro,
Oh.
I don't have 40G just laying around for
listen,
TV.
listen. I mean,
But
it
we
would have
know
been
someone
pretty
who
sweet.
does.
All
Who?
right, take this
Father
next
Speed.
level.
All right. So
we do use the LED panel wall at the church that has 16
is
by
true.
16-inch different LED panels, and we'll just display different games across the entire thing.
there we go.
And we're friends with the staff.
There you
Let's go. All right. So let's.
Hey, as long as University of Florida's on the game, I think I can get Pastor involved. Yeah, I
That's
think I
true.
can get him down.
That's probably true, to be honest.
Split it in half.
All right, so overall, I mean, what'd you guys think of today's race? Mostly the Cup race. Like, what'd you guys think?
I thought it was pretty good. I
was
mean,
good.
I've said this a bunch. I mean, it pretty much gave you pretty much everything you wanted. You had a late race caution, which we'll talk about. A little bit of drama, exciting finish. You saw different strategies. Michael McDowell trying to run long. It feels like the stage cautions really, the way they were placed, allowed some different strategy, try some different things. We saw a lot of cautions in the beginning. Not really in the beginning. Maybe like the first half, we saw like, guys spinning out, tires failing. There's a variety. So to me, you had a pretty good mixture of quite a few things that, I really liked it, man.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too. I had a little bit of a complaint, maybe like I would say maybe like 35-40% of the way through, going into halfway. I kind of felt like the cars were just getting spread out so much over the course of the green flag runs. But I just started looking at the lap times, and dude, like even as much as they were spreading out, like these cars are like the way they're packaged out for this race, like they were catching each other. Like even once they would spread out, like they would have the speed to come back.
There was definitely a few
You
that
definitely
would.
saw a difference in
Yeah.
short run and long run speed. Brad
Yeah,
Keselowski had insane short run speed, but he had terrible long run speed. So
Yeah.
he was great in the beginning, and he would fade out.
Hamlin was the
It was
opposite.
extreme in both directions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I was saying, like to me, this race felt long, especially in that middle section. I mean, there was a point where you disappeared. We were playing with the kids out in the backyard, and he'd come in like, "Any updates? No, okay." Shuts the door. It's like there was a couple points where it was like, "Okay, we need something."
I mean, what was our green flag time or flag to flag time? Was probably about 2:45, 3 hours, something like that.
it was close to
Yeah,
3.
it was
I
more
think.
than
yeah.
it was more than normal. For
And
sure.
so it was. I don't know. I felt like it was a little long, but I mean, the ending definitely delivered. That late caution definitely helped. Not to say that was what was needed, but
I
that
feel
definitely
like
made it way more exciting, especially with, like, we'll get into all the different pit strategies that were
So-
tried at the end.
In comparison, watching some college football this weekend, right? Because we saw a lot of really good games this weekend. The standard was 4 hours. So if this race is an hour less,
That is true.
30 minutes less,
yeah, that's pretty good.
are we going to
That's true.
consider this race feeling like it's long?
It just felt long. I
I
don't
will
think it
say
actually
this,
was.
I wouldn't say it's long.
I've been dogging
but-
on NASCAR for a long time about the cautions. This has way fewer cautions than college football. My God.
oh,
Like, you
well.
do miss some green flag racing, but it's just like how many TV timeouts you get, especially for a big game. It's borderline obnoxious, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
because you kind of mentioned it. My favorite part of the race was whenever they were doing pit stop cycles. That was actually pretty good, and like a lot of these teams, they were on point today. You know, especially Larson's team throwing down a couple of sub 9 second
Those
pit
were
stops,
insane.
4 tire
Bro,
pit
multiple.
stops, sub 9.
I know
4
he had
tire
it. There was at
stops.
least 2 in a row that were 8.9, 8.9,
Yeah,
2 in a row at least of that.
and it's just like, I mean, yeah, like it's 8.9, but it's still sub 9.
It's-
That's like
I don't
super
care, yeah.
crazy, you know.
Considering that, like 2 years ago, we were like impressed with like a 14-second stop.
Yeah, but I
Like-
mean, like also like
I mean, obviously
even
it's changed.
like what would you guys say is the par time now? Like 10 seconds?
I'd say 9.
9 seconds.
Somewhere in
is
the
a good
nines.
stop.
If
know?
you're above 9 by a couple tenths, you're all right. But if you're sub 9, you got a really good stop.
yeah, that's
I would
that's
say, yeah,
awesome.
anywhere in 9 is where you want to be. 10 is kind of like,
10 is slow.
Yeah,
I
10
think
is
if you're
starting
9
to
and
be
a half and up, you're slow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me. I don't know if this is just something that's been amplified because of the shorter pit stops, but I feel like it used to be if you had a 14-second stop versus like a 13-second stop, that wasn't as detrimental as a 9 to a 10. Like that, because of how much shorter those stops are, that's a huge difference now.
Oh, one thing. I don't know if it's in the topics or if we mentioned it in the topics,
I have no
but
idea.
this is the second week in a row we've seen fuel catch fire on pit road.
We did not have it in the thing, so if you
Can
want
we
to
just talk about that like real
That
quick?
is interesting.
That's a little. I don't want to say like concerning, but I mean it's a little bit concerning because it's like,
I don't really know.
and it
like-
caught fire the same way.
And
Yeah.
we saw the guy catch on. He was on
yeah,
fire a
he
little
was
bit.
he was
Yeah.
on fire a little bit on
That's
his
pretty
on his
intense.
suit. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what really causes it. Like,
It's when they're what I saw is like when they're sending the gun in to take the lug off, they're already running at RPM to back it out, and as soon as it hits, it sparks a little bit.
a little bit.
and then it
Oh,
hits
yeah, that's true.
hits the.
I don't
the
know that's
fuel
going
on
to
the
be
ground.
avoidable. I mean, I don't think. You
I mean,
can-
I'm
don't
not
think you
saying
can
it's
prevent it.
avoidable, but like this is the second year that we've seen it, and we haven't really
Race.
ever seen it. No, well, second year of the next gen,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and like
Second
we haven't really
race in a row.
seen
We've
it.
seen it
but
before,
we've seen it-
but not 2 weeks in a row with great camera shots, which I think make it a little
Yeah,
more
I guess that's true.
Maybe.
apparent, you
Yeah,
know?
but yeah, I mean, last week, I mean, that was pretty baller of the RFK team to like keep doing the stop, and then
Bro,
I mean,
today,
even today,
today,
they
they got,
same thing.
today,
bro,
same
he's
deal.
literally on fire on his right hand, taking
Still
the lug
going
off.
for it.
It's
Like,
like,
you know,
oh no, this is
it's just
this
like
is
these-
terrible.
y'all are
These
wild.
pit
bro.
crew guys are different. Speaking of college
Can
football,
I say too, like
you
this?
know, most of
this
these guys are college football dudes.
this goes back to why we love racing is because these guys are different, man. Even the pit crew guys, these are heroes, bro. Like they do things that most people would not do.
Oh yeah,
running in front of cars that are running at highway speed.
Yeah, 60,
yeah.
70 miles an hour,
Yeah,
potential to catch on fire, potential to get run over, change a tire while the car's on fire. I mean, that's just
they
like,
don't look both ways before they jump over the wall. I mean,
Jeff doesn't
I
either.
feel like that was. I knew that was coming.
listen. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this man had all of us nervous the entire time we were in Daytona. Why? Because we would literally be coming up to a road crossing, and we're sitting there.
4-lane highway,
Four-lane highway.
International Speedway
And
Boulevard.
Jeff doesn't slow down to look. He says, "Oh yeah, I looked, but I didn't see his head move. So maybe he's got eyes in the side of his head like a bug or something."
It's called
But no.
peripheral vision.
Yeah.
No,
I can
I don't
look
care.
without having to
I'm-
move my
Meanwhile,
entire head.
he steps out into the road looking this direction when a car is coming. Sorry for audio people.
It
He's
was
looking in one
not
direction and
that.
the car is coming the other direction
Yeah.
and just steps
No,
out in
bro.
front of the car and the car has to stop and wait for us. And I'm like, well,
There's a difference in walking out with like that kind of confidence, ego thing, like you're gonna stop for me, and then
Yes.
walking out just because you just. I don't think Jeff even knows he's in a
You
road.
weren't even there.
I know how you are.
Bro.
to be honest, we told this story and they're like, yep, I've seen it. And like, Matt and Jake were both just
Nobody
like, yep.
questioned any of it.
Nope, not at all.
That's why we can't take you to the garage. You get run over for sure.
Oh, probably. The worst would probably be the Rolex.
What's bad about the garage is like they literally tell you like pedestrians don't have right of way. Cars have right of way.
I mean, it makes sense.
even carts and pit boxes. So if you get run over, liability wise, it's your fault.
I love
That's
it.
pretty. That's
I love
pretty gnarly.
All right, so let's move on and start talking about silly season a little bit. Just kind of some updates. There are still some open cars. There's still some drivers that have a little bit of uncertainty. There's still some rumors floating around. So, Jake, what do we have so far?
All right. So best I can tell. Well, we'll start with the confirmed so far. So confirmed is John Hunter Nemechek to the 42. Everybody saw that
Yeah.
coming.
Oh yeah.
Toyota loves that guy. They had to give him a ride, otherwise they were going to lose him. And obviously, he's setting up. He's just tearing the Xfinity up right now. So that's interesting. So I wonder, with that being confirmed, I wonder if he will try to get a chance to start a couple cup races. Probably not, because they're still Chevy, but maybe.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
don't know.
Rumor. I guess that's it for confirms. Well, no, sorry. We got Denny Hamlin signed an extension.
Yep. So Hamlin's in.
Multi-year.
If you have not listened to Denny Hamlin's
Demi.
Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin.
If you've if you've not listened to his podcast, I recommend you do, because Joe Gibb, quote unquote, surprisingly shows up to sign the contract extension. Sounds pretty staged to me, but
Oh,
they
I'm
share
sure it
some
was.
really funny stories about topless girls on a jet ski and Joe Gibbs having to give him a ride across the lake. It's really funny.
Oh, I
Shows
need to hear this now.
So that's all. That's
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
hilarious.
I really like that. I mean, that's obviously the coolest driver signing I've ever heard of, because you were kind of like part of it as a listener. you
Yeah.
know? So pretty neat. All right. So on to rumors, we have. It sounds like Burton is going to re-sign to the 21.
That is,
Yep.
yep. That's what
That's
I've
pretty
heard.
much all but confirmed.
Yep.
And Carson Hocevar to Cup. We even heard it today on the broadcast. Junior and Jeff kind of talking
Yep.
about it a little bit. That sounds like he's skipping Xfinity, going straight to Cup, which the way he's run the couple he has,
Might
don't
as
even
well.
waste
Okay.
your time in Xfinity.
Oh,
So
yeah.
where are we thinking?
He has to be going to the 31.
That's
has
what I was
to be,
thinking.
right?
31
Yeah.
would be my thinking.
So now here's the thing. We've heard that Smithfield is leaving NASCAR,
That yep.
which makes me think Almirola has to be retiring. Has to be, right? Surely he's not sticking around without him.
I mean, yeah, but he also
There's no way.
he's also said he was retiring already. So
Like multiple times.
Multiple times. So
Yeah,
He's pulling
I
a
got
Tom Brady.
feeling- Well, the 10 car definitely has not been re-signed so far, right? So
no.
the 10, the 16,
Is
and
his
the
contract
31.
actually up this year, or does he just
Yeah.
have like an
No,
option?
no,
to-
it's up.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure Stuart Haas has some kind of right to
Yeah.
sign first or whatever. But basically, tell me if you guys think. Same thing in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. But as far as I know, the only cars available left are the 10, 16, and the 31. And I say 16 because AJ hasn't announced his plans for next year either.
I'll
Yeah.
be honest. I could very easily see AJ not doing it again this year.
Same.
Next year. He hasn't.
Sure.
I think with Colleague going and saying, "Hey, we're going to run a full season instead of just doing the road courses." I think we've kind of talked about it before, where it's like, oh, it's stretching everybody thin, or stretching that team a little too thin. And I think that's why they were so good on the road courses, because they could really focus on just one type of racing. So, and I think now that they're having to work on all that, AJ's just
I think it comes down to what's AJ want to do.
That's the other thing. How
if
old is
he's
he
not
now?
having fun, I don't think he wants to do it.
He's what? In his, is he early 40s now?
He's probably early 40s.
Yeah,
I think.
he's older than he looks for sure.
So I mean, like, does
would-
he really want to run a full season again?
What if you,
especially
what if
for
you
the position.
run part time with Colleague with the races you want, and you give up that seat
Or-
to like somebody like SVG?
Or like I said,
Nobody, we
like,
don't know. We
Yeah.
know he's coming to NASCAR. He relinquished his ride
he
in
is.
supercars. They already signed the replacement driver, so he's coming to NASCAR,
We just
but
don't know
nobody really
where.
knows what. I'd like to see him, honestly. I'd love to see him go full-time Cup, man. Just go.
I mean, that would be wild.
Yeah, he's got some learning curve on ovals, but I mean,
he didn't do too bad.
a lot of the ovals we run now are, we run a lot of ovals, but we run a lot of not ovals. Super Speedway is an oval, but doesn't race like an oval. It races
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah,
A
if you
bunch of
really
road
looked
courses.
at traditional ovals, there's not a lot of, like, it's probably a little more than half
I
of
think
the races.
I think to dial it back in the Carson Hocevar specifically, I mean, if you want to talk about, I mean, obviously there's the 16 and the 31 Chevrolet teams.
Yeah.
But he's a truck driver so far. And it's like he's young, and I'm kind of just wondering what his relationship is with Chevrolet. And it's like, you don't really see a lot of people developing their real tight relationships until they get through Xfinity or into Xfinity at least. So I'm kind of like,
I
if there's a
think I would
time, if there's
say,
a time to switch manufacturers, it could be now to go to a,
Like Ford.
semi-competitive
if
car
you're
to go to the
Coast and
10.
Hocevar, are you going to go to, say, the 31 or the 16, or are you going to go to the 10?
I mean, right off the rip, for me, I'm going to the 10.
Oh, heck no.
No,
bro.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I don't think, but like, are you saying his colleague just as competitive as
Yes.
Stuart Haas?
I would.
don't know.
This year they have been.
I mean, I don't know.
But is that because of Justin Haley, and or is that is that because of the driver talent, or is that because of the team? That's the other thing.
So in the
I don't
point
know.
standings, Almirola has 491 points. He's in 23rd. Haley is in 24th at 473. So the cars are getting similar results.
Very
I
similar.
guess so.
So to
I don't know.
me, you have good success in Chevy. You've had good runs with Chevy so far part-time.
Maybe.
Keep that Chevy train rolling as long as the seat's
Already,
open.
the relationships are already there.
Stuart
and,
Haas has problems.
yeah,
Big problem.
That's true.
and didn't we hear the rumor that they were possibly might be selling
So
charters?
according to Stuart Haas, I think it was their competition director, somebody in the the brass of Stuart Haas said they are not. So they pretty
Okay.
much shut that rumor down. They
Okay.
came out publicly and shut it down.
Okay, so that's probably.
So it sounds
I
like
thought
we're
it seemed
back to
kinda
no
weird.
charters are for sale.
Something Megan brought up, and I thought this was a really good point. The 10 might actually get Advent Health.
That's Matt.
I can't read. There you go,
No,
Matt.
sorry.
No, but that's a good
That's
point.
Matt's line.
Yeah, I know. It was very fitting, right? So no, but that's a good point though. The 10 getting Advent
They
Health.
very well could. I mean, Advent Health isn't a full year sponsorship.
Yeah, but at this
We
point,
don't know if Bush is a full year sponsorship either. So Advent Health may take up the races that
is
Busch
true.
doesn't.
But that's honestly a pretty good spot.
I just hope they
to-
don't get rid of the jockey paint scheme, bro. That's the best one.
That one does look really awesome. Kuzman says Benedetto. I can't say it with my clogged nose. However you spell it, seems kind of sad and surprising he didn't have a ride yet. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't super surprised with that one, only because he was not setting the world on fire in trucks. For a guy that was doing halfway decent in Cup and go back to trucks and not even hardly make a name for himself, I think that kind of unfortunately made it a little bit harder for him. So I'm not super surprised that he didn't have anywhere to go.
So the thing with
See?
Benedetto, sorry, is I think he lost that ride. He
I
kind of
think so.
framed it in the announcement that he was leaving, but I'm pretty sure he lost that ride.
I think so.
I think the team, what it sounds like, the team was funding pretty much all the races, and they pretty much couldn't afford to do that anymore. So it sounded like they just couldn't make it work, and they needed
True.
somebody with a little more funding. So I honestly, If that is the case, that means Matt DiBenedetto is not bringing a lot of funding, which means he's probably not going to nail a ride.
Yeah.
So
Plot twist: he goes to the 10.
Good to see that John Hunter Nemechek's gonna have his second stint in Cup because he was originally in Cup.
Yeah,
so
he was.
he had his shot with the 21 and then got shot back down the trucks.
Yeah.
So for
Forgot
KBM,
And I guess it
so-
sounds like and this is where Denny Hamlin was a little upset, but maybe they worked it out. But it sounded like Legacy's becoming a TRD partner the same way Joe Gibbs is,
Yeah.
where 2311 is an affiliate with Joe Gibbs, not necessarily direct link
With TRD.
to TRD.
So I think
I
that's
ca-
interesting.
I thought so. That's why I thought like the whole rumors of them going to Ford. I'm sure he talked to them.
Oh, Ford, no, that's
Yeah,
confirmed. He said
there's-
that.
There's
They
no
said
way
that.
they didn't talk to
When
them.
they were in Michigan for the Michigan race, they 100% Ford is shopping to add teams to their roster.
I'm not surprised. All right,
Not
so
with the way Penske's been running.
no, that is for sure.
Looks like they just need,
RFK is making them look bad.
They just need
Oh,
to
yeah.
beef up the
They need to get rid of Austin Cindric. Put Brad back in the car.
Oh,
Sorry,
I think
Matt's not here.
I
so
think Brad's happier where he's at,
I
buddy.
think so.
Didn't Austin confirm he's racing next year? Cindric?
I think so. I think I don't. I'd say they got one more. He's got one more year. If he has another year like he does this year, I'd say he's gone.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's just
But-
not good. No improvement.
Yeah. No,
You know?
and I mean, really, the only reason he was even like I shouldn't say anyone really talked about him, but the main reason anyone talked about him last year was he won the 500.
500.
If he didn't win the 500, he wouldn't have been in the chase. He wouldn't
No,
have been.
the rest. I
he
mean, he
wouldn't have
does
been-
good on the super speedways. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
And he has little highlights where he might run okay, but I mean, everybody thought he was going to come in and be a road course ringer from a sports car experience, and he just
it
hasn't.
hasn't happened. Yeah. So okay, let's. I don't have this on the schedule, but let's talk about the where the playoff drivers are sitting.
Yes.
Because we don't have that on there, and I don't want to get too far into our topics without going on about that. So, where are we at with them so far?
Oh, am I reading off the playoff standings?
Well, I thought that's. What
Oh,
we said.
yeah.
I
Get
thought,
after it, bro.
unless I mean, I could probably.
I got you. I'm pulling it up right now. I thought you were doing it.
I misunderstood.
Normally it's Matt. All right, so number one, we have Kyle Larson, 2,117 points in first place.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
he's
Gotta
been
win.
running good.
yeah, he was pretty solid today. Just kind
Fast
of
again.
Yeah, just had. I don't know if it was they just missed up with the setup toward the end or something.
changed, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really fast.
There was a couple
until
of
something
drivers
happened,
where like
just
on the
really
last pit
changed.
stop, not the one right before the end of the race, but the one right before that just kind of threw them off and they had to claw their way back.
Yep, nice. All right, number two, locked in. Tyler Reddick locked it in today.
Oh, yeah.
2,111 points.
I mean, again, he was Toyota looked good in general. Tyler was up there most of the day, toward the front, so he just was able to capitalize at a good point.
He won NBC's Safe Driver Award. So
That was
that's pretty-
ridiculous.
what was it? Progressive Safe Driver.
That was the most
That was the funniest
ridiculous
thing.
sponsor
So-
ad I've heard in so long.
So when we were-
literally from the wall to the grass on the apron, 100 feet of racetrack, dive bomb move, safe driver of the race award.
But it was funny
Okay.
because it's like they could have given him that award and shown like other like clean passes or,
something.
anything. But no, they
I mean, it
showed,
was a clean
they-
pass.
It was it was
Try
clean
that on the
and-
highway and see if you get a ticket.
Yeah.
It was clean as in he didn't hit anything, but
Yes.
it wasn't. It was just obnoxious. But they showed the one clip of him doing a semi ballsy move.
Yeah.
And it's like Safe Driver Award. And it's like
It's just funny.
and
Yeah.
that was we were sitting here setting up for that, looking at the TV. We were like, what? Like what the heck? That was
Oh
funny.
my God.
But yeah, no, good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been fat. We've been talking about it. We've been all going back and forth on whether we're gonna pick him for fantasy league and stuff like that. And it's just like we can't trust his pit crew. That's like the
I
whole
picked
thing.
him today.
Yeah, but he's been fast. 2311 has speed, but like
that 45 has won 3 out of 4 Kansas races.
yeah,
Dang.
Kurt Busch Spring,
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace fall last year.
yep.
Didn't Denny win it this year in the spring?
I think so.
And then
Toyotas,
45
man.
wins again. This is 45.
It's
or
wild because
45
we were all
racetrack
like
right here.
we were all going back and forth on like picking Toyotas and stuff like that. But then like between qualifying and the race, we were like, concerned considering what they've been doing with the
The
cars. I guess we'll get into that
Yeah,
later.
that's coming
but
up.
like Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it later, but it's kind of
All
funny.
right,
We're
let's
like,
keep it
oof.
rolling.
All right, fourth place, William Byron, 41
Oh, you skipped
points.
third.
Sorry, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hasbin.
Moving on.
Would
Never his fault.
Would they have the cardboard cutout of
Yes.
the pool bar that Dickie has been?
No, hey, seriously, you brought that up in his post race interview, where he was like saying that because we were commenting, we're like, dude, why did he get such a bad start? He didn't take off.
for
And he's like, oh, Larson kept backing it up, so I wanted to stick with
Bruh.
him. And Jake just is like, it's never his fault, is it?
It's never his fault.
Bruh.
It's just like,
if you watch Denny Hamlin enough, you'll know that it's never his
And it's
fault.
funny because he brought up Kyle
all the
Larson.
guys know it's not his
Right?
fault.
It's funny because he was talking about Kyle Larson like backing it up and wanting to stay with Kyle Larson, but Kyle Larson's the one that said that in his
Hold on,
post race
hold on.
interview.
Can we talk about how far Kyle Larson was backing it up? Bro, like, you should probably get a penalty for backing it up like 6 car lengths. Like, that was
That was a
ridiculous.
lot.
Like, what are you
But-
doing?
But no, my point was that
was not
Kyle
trying to push
Larson,
Denny.
Them restart games were thick on
Yes.
this last restart.
Jake was the one that said it's never Denny Hamlin's fault. Kyle Larson's the one that said that in his post race interview.
Yep.
I don't remember what race. Maybe it was. I think it was Pocono. Maybe I don't remember. But
I think
yeah,
it was. Yeah.
But
That's
Kyle
where-
Larson's
that's
the
where
one
Denny
that
wrecked him.
that quoted
That's
that.
where Denny Hamlin, quote unquote, didn't make any contact.
Yeah,
I didn't
make any
touch him.
contact. Didn't
Okay.
touch him.
All right, back to
But-
the
All
list.
right,
anyway,
Let's get
so
back to the
Denny,
list.
Denny Hamlin, 49 points above the cut line in third. Fourth place is William Byron. He's 41 points above the cut line. All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
for me, I'm surprised he didn't win a race yet.
A little surprising. Yeah.
These are two pretty straightforward races. We get one more straightforward race, and then the playoffs get pretty intense starting the next 2 rounds.
I don't think either of them win the next race.
I
Bristol?
I don't know, man. But they're gonna be contenders in
I
every
think-
race. It seems.
think Buscher's gonna win Bristol again,
You
or
think?
Brad. Brad was so good last
Brad
year.
might-
Brad's disgusting.
And fell off at the very end, and Buscher came up and won. Same thing.
Yeah.
RFK runs together. So I think there's probably a real shot Brad wins
Oh, yeah.
Bristol.
That's very possible.
I think so for sure. But I mean, when
Matt
you have
will probably have a meltdown.
but when you have Larson and Byron, like they're both just every week they're fast.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
week they're contenders.
Speaking of Brad, he is in 5th, 33 points above the cut line.
Yep.
Fast today.
Very fast.
Not
As
winning
fast.
fast, but round of 8 fast, which is what we
Yep.
talked about
Yep.
2 weeks ago. We thought they could make it round of 8. So
Easily. I shouldn't say easily, but right now they seem to be cruising there.
trending that way. All right, 6th place, Ryan Blaney, 25 points above the cut line. I don't think. I thought early in the year Ryan Blaney might go the distance and get to Phoenix, but honestly, he's running okay, but
Not great.
not round
Yeah.
of 4 speed.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably same thing, round of 8, but not,
I was gonna say,
not
yeah.
the way he's been running.
I could
lately.
even see
You would
like
say, yeah.
I could even see 12 to be honest if he doesn't.
Well, what the next round we get? What is it? What's after Bristol?
is it
You have Talladega in the
Talladega-
middle.
Talladega's in
the
the middle.
Roval is the cutoff, right?
Yep, the Roval is the
Oh,
cutoff.
that's rough.
What's
every
the
one
one before
What's
Talladega?
after
Because
Tal-
Talladega is the
Homestead.
second.
No.
No.
Isn't it?
Homestead's the 22nd of October.
Golly, I can't
Talladega is
remember.
the second one in the series,
It's
isn't it?
the second one. It's the middle one, and then the
I'm
the
pulling it up.
Roval.
I got it right here.
I think.
Yeah, so what would
But,
the first one be? I don't remember.
Dang, what was
Texas.
it? Texas.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, that's why they all the
Yeah.
ads for Texas were playing.
Yeah.
right. Gross. No wonder we forgot.
Gross. Why'd they make this a playoff race?
Hey,
I don't know.
DJ, no wonder we forgot.
Yeah. I know.
Well, that's funny.
All right, so
Yeah, Ryan
So you-
Blaney was
so
a mad
to
boy.
pull it
today.
up for the next round, yeah, you do have Texas, Talladega, and then the Roval. Dude, you better just be hitting because you can't afford to
Oh,
have a
yeah.
bad race, man.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney was a mad boy today.
He was a little. Him and his
He was
spotter were
mad.
a little upset.
Oh yeah.
I like
Not
I
happy.
like
We can't.
Kuzmin's-
We can't even try to paraphrase it on here because there's too many bleeps.
Oh, when they were showing it on, they were like, "Oh, let's cut to Ryan Blaney's radio," and it was just
Son
bleep,
of a
bleep,
bleep.
bleep. We're like, "Hey, yo, this
Okay.
guy's mad."
All right, so 7th
funny.
in the playoffs, 24 points above the cut line is Kyle Busch. I'm a little surprised.
I thought he finished. He turned what I thought was going to be a terrible day for him into something
Facts.
to be proud of.
Facts,
Bro,
Where did he
I literally
finish?
didn't pick him because
Like,
I'm
it was
like,
like eighth, wasn't it?
7th.
Seventh.
I literally
Not
didn't pick
bad.
him because he was that far back, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't pick bad. I picked Bowman. He finished.
I
you know,
just know
top
every
10,
time
but-
I've ever seen Kyle Busch have a problem at practice, it always seems to translate into the race, and I'm like, nope, he's
Pretty
off
much.
the list.
And then
Well, he's
every
been,
time,
he's been so hit or miss. He's
Yeah.
either runs really good and really fast, or oversteps and gets in the wall and ruins his day.
Yep,
Yeah.
every time.
but anyway, finished well. Classic Kyle Busch.
All right, running 8th in the playoffs is Melon Man, 18 points to the good.
He was looking really good, and then had a similar problem to I think it was Larson.
Lost some speed at the end.
Lost a ton of speed at the end, and I don't know what
We had
happened.
that one restart. We went from top 5, 6 down to like
25th or something.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
real weird. He and Suarez had the parachutes on or something.
Seemed like that.
I'm talking about the end of the race when
I know.
Okay, just
I was agreeing with you.
Just want to make sure
As
everyone
DJ,
understood.
I concur.
I'm just reading Kuzman.
Yes,
Denny
I
Hamlin learned how to come up with excuses from Kyle Busch.
mean, probably not wrong.
Kyle Busch switched to Chevy, and now he don't
See,
make
like
excuses no more.
Kuzman trying to be nostalgic now. Bring a third car to RFK. Bring back Viagra. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, back in the day when that came out, because it was so like taboo almost to even
Really?
talk about. Well, I mean,
Even
imagine,
for NASCAR?
Imagine like when like Viagra like first came out.
That's true. That is
It
true.
was kind of like weird, like hey, you know. But then then you plastered it on a race car for 36
So,
weeks a year
And
with,
you get- and you
with
get-
the
and you get-
oldest driver
Yeah, I
in the
was
field.
just gonna say the oldest driver, Mark Martin, at the time.
So you know
funny.
what's funny is sorry to get us off track, is I remember an old joke from I think it was Bill Engvall from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and he was
Oh,
like
boy.
he goes how in the world do people make money off of these NASCAR sponsors? He goes, that car's driving 200 miles an hour. How do you see it? Like, he goes, are you hoping that when a car drives, like a Burger King car drives by, it's like, y'all hungry? And then he goes, what happens when the Viagra car goes by? Like, it's like, like what you're thinking there,
The Viagra car. That's funny.
Oh my gosh!
Kuzman
All right.
bringing up the nostalgia. man.
right?
Back to the other RFK driver in 9th, Christopher Buescher is 13 points to the good above the cut line.
Beginning of the year, I would have never saw it coming.
No, I mean it's
Yeah.
what we've been talking about, right? Beating that same drum. Although
Yep.
late race problem, he was the cause
Yeah.
of the overtime caution. He actually did rally it back to a 27th place finish. Not bad.
Big sad. I picked him,
Did you?
and he was running really good all race too.
He was.
So he's just like, oh,
Yeah.
man, that sucks.
All
The
right.
other Christopher Bell finishes,
The other Christopher.
or not finishes, but he is now 13 points to the good in the playoffs. Let's see here. Where did he finish?
I don't know.
8th
Keep
place.
going.
Not bad. So again, man, same thing. So qualifies really good and does not have the results, man.
Yeah.
He was good
Oh,
in
yeah.
practice too. Alrighty. 11th place, Joey Logano, 12 points to the good. Dude,
I'm-
same thing.
I'm
This
surprised
guy
that
gets the finishes out of the race.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he didn't. Where did he finish?
But
Gets
I,
the most
no,
out
I
of
was
his
I
car.
was gonna say I'm surprised he's that low, to be honest.
Where did he finish the race?
He was racing Eric Jones
oh yeah,
real
fifth
hard.
place, fifth place. But he ran
Yeah.
not great all day and finishes top
Always, he
5.
does
Yeah.
always turn
This
it around.
is what he does.
He just doesn't pick up any stage points. Seems to be his
Well,
problem.
that's just Penske. They're just slow.
Yeah, as well.
But
that's
this
true.
is look how Joey Logano can maximize his day.
always.
Literally
Yep.
every single week.
He will always get you everything that car can get for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, 12th place above, or 12th place in the playoff standings, 7 points above the cut line. This is the last place, the elimination spot, last or safe place before the elimination for the playoffs. Round of 1 is Kevin Harvick, 7 points to the good.
Yeah, he's higher than I would have expected. But he showed a little bit of speed today. Like he was actually, I don't remember where he finished, but there was a point where I think he was almost leading. So I mean, he was not looking terrible.
The
I'm
one.
gonna tell you what got me so messed up is him running that Sunny D car.
Oh, that threw me
I
off.
literally thought it was Ricky
I
Stenhouse
was like-
every time.
Is that
Yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse out there?
Hey, wait. Your number
let me
your
wipe
number
my
don't
eyes
look
real
right.
Let me wipe my eyes real quick.
Something set me right.
Where'd that 7 go behind the 4?
No, that sponsorship definitely really threw me off. I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck, man?
The car looked dope though.
It, I mean,
did.
it looked good. I mean, it looked the same as Ricky Stenhouse's car. It's the same paint scheme.
Is it?
I mean, it looked like
pretty
it.
close. I got a question for Jeff.
Okay.
And this is not really for DJ because you haven't been watching as long. Has it hit you yet that we're only going to see Kevin Harvick run 8 more races?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I've
crazy, bro.
thought about it, but it's pretty crazy. I mean, he's been in the sport as long as I've been a fan, since like 2002.
I mean,
so
like pretty close for me
like,
too.
I'm just like, man,
I was an
that's-
Earnhardt fan for a couple years before he died.
It's
but,
just not going to be the same.
man. That's
It's not going to be
crazy.
the same. But I mean, like we've seen, I think he's supposed to go to the Fox booth, right, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
But like we've seen him do, I mean, throughout
He's
the last
phenomenal
20
in the
years,
booth.
the last 20 years, he's done Xfinity races. He's done, I feel like he's done a couple of ARCA races at one point or another as well. But, I mean, we've seen him in the booth. He's really
I'm not
good.
worried about that.
He's
No.
super good.
I
So
don't-
I'm looking forward to that. I guess I'm kind of like using that as like trying to boost my mood with
Yeah.
it. But it's a little sad. It's a little sad.
It's
I
hit
don't
me
think
pretty
it's-
deep because
it-
he's been racing almost as long as I've been a race fan. I'm trying to think of the one that would be next. I mean, it was Kurt Busch was close, so it might be Kyle Busch maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Brad Keselowski. I mean,
the oldest ones, not the oldest as far as age, but the ones that have been racing have been, I think it's Curtin,
Truex might be
Curtin,
up there.
Kevin, and then Truex and like Kyle kind of came
Truex
a
is
little
not
after
nearly as long as like Martin. Not
Kevin Harvick.
Excuse me.
No, they kind of came.
Oh, no,
like
no, for
Kyle,
sure.
Kyle and Truex
Kyle, I
kind
think
of came a
he's-
little after,
Kyle's gonna have to be the tenured driver.
but
most
he's
tenured.
gonna have
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, but he started young too, like
Super
young. Like
That's back when you could
like
start Cup
18.
when you're 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, he started when he was like 18, so he's younger in age, but like
And he's got at least
10
another
years.
probably 5 years left, I think. Or
oh, minimal.
Or he said his plan, yeah.
is 5 more years.
I say so. I mean, he's gonna
Yeah.
be in for a while.
Oh yeah, but I don't think it's truly hit me 100%. But I've been thinking about it.
It was hitting
Recently.
me today because, like, you know, it's really hit me like the last 2 weeks because, like, once you start the playoffs, I don't know about you guys, but I start kind of getting down a little bit because it's like, dang, bro, now we're on the 10 race countdown to the end of the season and 3.5 months off.
Yeah,
Like,
and still
the
doesn't
worst,
have a win.
the
this
worst
season.
part of
I-
the whole year.
I think what really
you can keep
initiated
Christmas
it.
as long as we keep racing.
I think what's really initiated it, at least for me personally, is that even though we know he's been injured and he hasn't been racing anyway, Kurt announcing his retirement
was rough.
formally, that was rough.
Man,
That one
we
was
were all
rough.
sitting in the RV at Daytona
And we were
watching that.
like,
I don't know about you guys, but me and Jeff would get back there getting choked up. Like,
Yeah, we were like,
it's
we're
tough, bro.
Dude, it
when
was
you
heavy.
watch
Getting a little
somebody, when
upset.
you watch somebody for that, you'll see. Because one day it'll be Ross Chastain,
Oh, I know.
and it'll be like, dang, bro, I've watched this guy for so long.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it'll
watched,
hit.
and that one's different too because we've watched Ross since Trucks.
Since
so
Trucks.
it's like,
Yeah.
That
That's
one,
crazy.
yeah.
Well, see, but that's how it's been with me with Harvick.
yeah,
Because I remember when Junior
yeah.
left, because so my dad was always an Earnhardt fan, so I naturally became an Earnhardt Jr. fan. I was like, well, Dad likes Dale Sr., I'll like Dale Jr. So I always liked Dale Jr. and always had his diecast. So when Junior went to Cup, I still had like the diecast, but they still ran a Bluetooth AC Delco, and I was like, who's this guy? And that was Kevin Harvick when he started.
oh yeah,
So I've been watching Kevin Harvick
Yep.
since he's been in Xfinity for us. So it's been a long time. So
yeah. But
25
that's-
years at this point. So
But what
It's
what-
hitting me, bro.
What
Like,
made me
dang.
hit? What made me like that video with Kurt hit me with Kevin Harvick? 'Cause I'm like, oh, we're gonna be seeing a Kevin Harvick one of these in like a couple of months.
I mean, they've been releasing them all year.
They've been releasing them all
Yeah.
year,
And
kinda,
then
but like they're gonna see a big
Almirola
one.
is also gonna retire, but nobody cares.
And
Next.
see you later.
Now we are outside the bubble. This is who
Yep.
is not currently in the round of 12, right? These are the guys that are out and got to make a way in at Bristol next Saturday night.
Mhm.
Martin Truex Jr., 7 below. What a complete drop
Yep.
of the ball. I guess they had a puncture in the tire.
I don't know, but it
Yeah.
was disappointing because I had him picked and he wrecked real soon.
Real fast.
I was like, wow, my
Yeah.
day's starting off great.
I mean, disappointing. Puncturing
Not
the tire.
good,
Not
man.
much you can do about it. But I mean, yeah, that kind of sucks.
yeah.
They
I think, though, 7 points
Man,
down,
you-
there's
you-
still room. He can
no,
still come
here's the
back.
bad thing. Bristol is not a great track for Martin Truex. It's
Yeah,
not
that's true.
terrible, but it's not like
He
you
needs
know,
someone
like
else.
when you think about drivers that are really good at Bristol, you think of like Kyle Busch,
Kyle
used to be
Busch.
Kurt Busch. You know, there's a handful of guys. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson run good there, but
You know, I'm just looking at
Martin
like
Truex
other
Jr.,
drivers
man.
that are like close-ish on the bubble. Every single one of them are good at Bristol. Like
Yeah, I
Christopher
mean-
Bell, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano,
no,
Christopher
everybody he's
Buescher.
got to race against.
They're all good there.
It's really
Kyle
gonna be
Busch
tough.
Yeah.
even. I mean, that's what, 7 above, and every one of them. The only one that hasn't won here is Ross Chastain. I believe even Christopher Bell has won at Bristol. If not, he's very good here.
Yeah, and
So
as a Hendrick fan, I don't mean this with any kind of bias, but when I do think of Bristol, I think of a lot of the Hendrick guys
Oh, no way.
and Bush.
I just
What are
think
you
of
talking
Kyle.
about? I think
What do you
of
mean?
Kyle,
Kyle Busch.
Busch.
Well, I said
That
Bush
is
brother.
freaking
Well, I
Kyle
said-
Busch Motor
well,
Speedway.
And no, okay, let me preface it with no particular order. I mean, some of the Hendrick guys.
Doesn't Kyle Busch have
and
more
the Busch
wins
brothers.
than any other driver there?
I don't know. He might.
It's him or Darrell Waltrip. It's
Oh,
really
it
yeah.
might
close.
still be Darrell Waltrip, to be honest.
It's
But-
super close.
But yeah, the Busch brothers and the
While
Hendrick
you
guys.
look that up, I'll move on. Bubba Wallace, 19 points down. Bubba Wallace was looking so good, even had the car to win today. Another blown right rear.
Oh.
We didn't say it, but Martin Truex Jr. early blown right rear.
So it's
Whoa.
actually
We'll get into
so
that.
the most is 12. It's Darrell Waltrip.
Kyle Busch has 11.
No.
Oh.
9. Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Cale Yarborough are all tied at 9.
Dang. No
Kyle
way.
has 8.
Oh, he's right there.
But he's right there to be second. But I mean, Darrell still
Do they
has
count
12.
Bristol Dirt?
For
They
modern era,
definitely
yeah.
should
You
not.
know, I
hope
don't
not.
know if it does. It just
Oh, God.
says
I can't believe Dale Earnhardt had 9 wins there. Holy
it just
crap.
says all-time winners at Bristol. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe they count as dirt win.
They might. I
Whatever.
don't know.
Oof.
But still, yeah. But I mean, still, like obviously
Blemish
extremely
on the
good.
community.
So
But,
yeah,
but seriously, Bubba.
Bubba,
again,
he had to
same
win
like
today.
Truex, man. I don't think he had to win. He just had to run good. I
And he
mean,
was.
19 points below based
He-
off of where he finished. If he would have run
where
top
did he
5,
where
he'd
did
been
he end up
plus.
finishing?
I'll look it up. I got it right here. Let me see.
Because he was really fast.
He
like,
was the fastest car all day. No question.
until he had his issue, he was pretty much of a-
32nd.
Oh,
yeah, he got
Yeah.
jacked up pretty good. He had to
Ooh.
stop multiple times for them
That's a
to
bummer,
try to
man.
fix
Yeah.
it. But
man.
yeah,
that,
this
The car was killed, man. What can you do?
This was his best. I feel like it was his best opportunity to win was this week.
it was.
I
But
think
100%.
at this
Um,
point, 19 points down, you're going to be pretty much. You're going to pretty much. I think from this point, 19 points down, you're almost in must-win territory.
Yeah, I think everyone else is. I think the only one that maybe could make it in would be Martin, but I think the
I
rest
mean,
of them,
Bubba could if everything falls right, but you're counting on people that, like you said, are pretty good here
At least
to have
two.
really bad.
at
days.
least 2 really good drivers, to not do well.
And
Yep.
then last
15th,
but
15th, we have Ricky Stenhouse at minus 22.
He's-
Not honestly, I'm not surprised.
No,
It's
I'm not
exactly
either.
what I
But
expected.
isn't he halfway decent at Bristol?
That's true.
So I mean, he might have a chance. I don't.
it's because he was without his Sunny D scheme this week.
That's what it was. All
That's
the
what it
power,
was.
all the sun power was taken away
All
from
the
him.
sun power was not there.
No, I don't know. So I
No.
mean, but he again, he's 22 points below. He's 100% a driver that has to win. I think at this point,
Yeah,
because
you-
he's got 2
yeah.
drivers ahead of him. He needs at least 3 drivers to basically in the playoffs to just totally have a meltdown.
Stenhouse finished 33rd here last year.
Okay,
DNF.
okay. I thought he.
I don't know where he ran. I do agree with you. It seems like he runs good. For what it's worth, top 5 last year: Christopher Buescher, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson. Ross
All-
Chastain in 6.
That's what I'm saying. All the drivers
Thanks for
that are
telling me who
above
I'm
these
with.
guys.
Everybody you got to race is
Is
had good results here.
good.
Thanks for
drivers.
telling me my picks for next week.
Right. Last but definitely least, Michael McDowell, 40 points below. He has to win. He's in a must-win.
Absolutely.
Well,
that wasn't
I mean,
a surprise.
Technically, he could point his way in, but
It's
you're
very
going to have
unlikely.
to win. So
Yeah, I was gonna say Michael is definitely the guy that I
he
think
finished
everyone
26 running last year.
Yeah, I think everyone
So-
pretty much pegged him as the lowest of the 16 drivers. So I mean that's not surprising. I kind of expected him to have a little bit better day today, but I think they got behind and then they tried to, play a crazy strategy at that point because I mean what else do they have to lose? So and it just
I'm
didn't
sorry.
play out.
I read the results from today. He finished 26. He finished 11th at Bristol last year.
Okay, but
And
still
he's running better. So,
maybe
I mean, you get enough things happen right.
maybe stay out, grab some stage points, maybe play that kind of game, and maybe you can leapfrog. I don't know, but
yeah,
I mean,
how'd that
he's-
work out for Suarez at the end today?
He's 40 points below, so it did
Staying
not
out.
work out for.
Staying out did not
I
work out.
wanted that Bowman and Suarez drama to continue when they started racing side by side. I was like, come on, man, do something.
All right.
Honestly,
It's like, you
like,
see like that meme with the guy with the stick that's like, come on, do something.
Yeah,
That's
come on,
me. I was
do
like, come on,
something.
All
get
right.
him.
No, before we move on, DJ, like I just wanted to point out something because it made me crack up so hard. Was
Yes.
like when the restart happened and everyone started passing Suarez, we were just sitting on the couch. And I just hear Jake, bye Suarez. As he
Bro,
It
drops
was
back.
bad.
Bro,
Yeah,
that dude had a
all
freaking
right.
parachute on.
So we're almost an hour into the show, and we're gonna get to our first main topic now.
Let's go.
We'll
Late
probably move to
caution.
these quick.
Yeah, late caution shakes things up. Do you guys think that late caution was needed?
I don't honestly. I mean, I wanted it for the drama, but honestly, I didn't see any debris. I don't remember them showing any debris. If you guys are in the chat and you guys saw something different, let me know. But I didn't see anything that warranted a caution. Yes, he was slow, but by the time he was really slow, he was on the apron. It was a non-factor at that point to me. But again, I wanted the caution. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a stretch for that last-minute playoff drama, which was certainly drama. But
I would
Denny Hamlin
say-
deserved to win this race.
Yeah, I would say based off of what they've
think
had,
he has been.
like, I would say based off of what they, the precedents that they've set so far this year, with like their previous caution calling and stuff like that, they've been really,
They've been holding it back.
they have been.
That's why I'm saying it's kind of
so-
it's not consistent.
That's why I'm kind of thinking, what's up, Mark? By the way, he's watching the Finns
Woo!
win. So hope you're having fun out there. Stay safe.
Hey, congrats on the win yesterday, man. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Miami tore it down.
Yeah. So I think that's based on that. I feel it makes sense. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm assuming there was debris that we just didn't see. That's the only thing I can think of because otherwise, he seemed to be out of the way. He seemed to be out of the
I don't
groove.
know.
He seemed to not. Maybe they were
I think
concerned about.
NASCAR has such a reputation for trying to throw those drama cautions. I mean, they did
I mean,
forever.
it did.
Um,
It definitely gave us
well,
drama.
I mean, Jeff knows back in the day. I mean, how many shadow debris cautions did we used to have?
So many pizzas were called for.
Bro, like literally. I mean, it's just like, so, I mean, it'll take them a while to have to fight through that reputation to where it makes me a little skeptical. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
kind of agree with you. I'm not saying there's no chance there wasn't, but, I mean,
it did seem convenient.
It did. I mean, NBC has done a really good job of catching everything. When was the last thing that they, like, oh, man, we didn't really have a good angle on it? I mean,
They almost always have.
never. So, I mean, they pretty much
Every
nailed the
once in a
stuff.
while, you'll hear Dale Jr. do his siren, and it's oh, we got a spin.
We got it.
And like it takes
I
a
do love
second for
that.
the camera to find it, but I mean it's still like what 2 or 3 seconds at
Hey,
the
that's a
most.
sign that Dale Jr. is watching the race out the glass and not on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, it's
Love it.
that it cracks me up, man. Oh, we got a spin.
I'm just saying, I'm really disappointed. There's a really good slide job a couple times on TV, and we didn't
never heard
we
slide
never
job.
We
got
didn't get
slide
a
job.
single darn slide job.
man.
Slide
Man,
job,
Come
slide
on,
job.
man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
no,
unfortunate.
I mean, no, I don't know. I didn't see any debris personally, but like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I was there for the drama. I appreciated the drama in the end,
That's one
But-
way to put
yeah.
it.
but I also like, I don't know. I didn't see it. So if you're asking me if it was necessary, like, assuming that I just didn't see it, yes, it was necessary. But if there just actually wasn't, then I think it was just you
Yeah.
know, like Jake said. Jake put it the best way possible. Like they have a reputation for it. So I mean,
For sure. All right, let's move on to our next one. We had 5 right rear tire failures. Man, try to say that when you're congested. 5 of them. And one of them happened really quickly to my driver.
Oh, no, real quick, Kuzman, which spin are you talking about? Drop that in the chat. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
For some
I
reason.
know there was one that happened. They came back and showed it after commercial, but that
That-
means they still
was that-
saw it.
was
Doesn't
that
mean they
Byron?
missed it.
Was that Byron?
Maybe.
tell us what spin you're referring to. Tell us about the spin.
I want to know
Kuzman.
how many syllables are in words like that. Spin.
spin.
There's got to be like 3.
SPEEN.
But seriously, let's move on to the tire failures while Kuzman's setting that to us. So, what'd you guys think of that?
You want to take it? Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep, Byron's
was-
spin, by the way.
it was very.
Man, I saw it on TV. That means I didn't miss it. Chill, Kuzman. Take it easy, Kuzi.
It was very. I thought it was a Toyota issue for a while, and then my driver, Chris Buescher, I picked also did it. So I don't know if it's just like a setup thing. People were missing the setup.
That's
and
what
just,
I'm leaning.
Just,
I'm leaning
just
setup.
putting
It had to be.
pushing that right rear way too hard. But I mean, obviously,
it also seemed to be like the fast cars too, except Larson.
We've seen that. Remember
Yeah.
that was a thing last year.
It was
Yeah.
the fast cars would run really good, and then they'd have tire
They blow
problems.
tires.
I mean, I thought it was a manufacturer issue for a while. Like obviously Toyota, they share information with each other.
It was like the
So-
first 3 were Toyotas or something.
Yeah,
like
so I kind of figured that was the
practice
case,
on,
but
on Saturday it was Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs, so Chevy
Yup.
and Toyota,
Toyota.
right? And then today you had Toyota, which made it think like, whoa, okay, maybe Kyle Busch was a fluke, and then it was Ford.
that. Yeah,
My opinion is it was aggressive
probably-
setup.
yeah,
I
it
think
had
it
to have
was.
been. It
Not
had
so
to have
much.
been.
Maybe I don't think a tire pressure deal, just aggressive setup. And it's
Yeah.
like, remember they showed the puncture on Truex's car? Like, what in the world could he hit? I mean, they blow off the track, they sweep it. Like that racetrack is clean. What would cause a puncture like that? That's crazy.
just a random puncture.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Did a fan throw a bottle out there or something at one point in the race? I mean, who knows? I doubt it, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was a manufacturer issue, but it's definitely just these playoff drivers because I think it was except for Gibbs, it was all playoff drivers. So I mean, I think it's just pushing the setup and trying to get the most out of it, and it just didn't work out for him. So
Yeah.
Let me back up a little bit, back to this Christopher Buescher caution.
Uh-huh.
I do want to say I am all for them calling the caution on that when he's driving slow and potentially exposed and or defenseless, right? And we've seen this with college football with the whole targeting penalty.
Right.
The ruling is written as like a defenseless player. Like, so if you get, what do they call that when you get hit from behind unknowingly? What do they call that? The penalty.
blindsided.
Blindsided. Thank you.
There. Yeah.
Like
that.
a blindsided hit or something along those lines. I am all for them. Hey, we have a slow race car on the track. It might end up throwing debris. Call a caution. That's fine. Just call it every time.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I agree.
Now, if you're
Consistency.
3 green white checkers in, maybe you hold the flag.
Yeah.
You know
For
what
a
I'm
little
saying?
bit.
That's
That's the difference. But like, if you're gonna do it there, be consistent every time. So the reason why I say that, I'm looking at Kuzman's comment about Austin Dillon had a right rear. Austin Dillon had a right rear, got in the fence, slowed way down, pretty serious damage.
Yeah.
Slowed down, running the apron. That if you're gonna call a caution for Chris Buescher, the Austin Dillon crash needs to be a caution because that happened the same time
Yeah.
as Byron's crash, but Byron just spun out because he got loose. That's how it looked to me. Maybe he hit debris, cut a tire real fast. I don't know. Looked like he just spun out.
Yeah.
So it's just like quit picking and choosing, quit the judgment call. If you got a car that's slowed down, you got
Just
a guy
go
that
with
could be potentially quote unquote blindsided,
Yeah.
a guy that's exposed to. I mean, even if you're running, say you're running 120, and somebody's running 180, and you get hit in the rear, and that's a 60-mile-an-hour difference. The next gen front end and rear end was tested at 35 miles an hour.
Okay. I know this is random. Why do they test it at such a slow speed?
Because say when you get loose and you back it up into the fence, you're not going 180. You're going 35 miles an hour.
Tell that to Priest and Larson when they were in Talladega.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying.
I mean, because like they need to test it at higher speeds.
But
Because
the problem isn't the higher speed impacts because once you get past a certain threshold, the safer barrier starts doing its job. You hit the side of
okay, that's
you
fair.
hit the side of Kyle Larson's car, you see the
The
roll
car
cage
crushes
starts giving in, and you're losing some of that shock impact.
That's true. That's
There's
true.
a threshold of a certain miles per hour and a certain miles per hour. I don't know what that is. It's close to 35. I'm assuming that
yeah.
must be the worst delta.
I mean,
right?
they're
Somewhere
they're
within
smarter
there.
than I am, so it's
Right.
they're probably
Sure.
right.
So they're testing it right there. But my problem is, if you're going 180, 190, and a car's going 120 slow on the apron, like that's dangerous.
I guess the thing that I
You know what
think
I'm saying?
about as well, you
Because
mentioned
you're not counting on a safer barrier wall to have some impact like that.
yeah.
Like the Kyle Larson Ryan Priest wreck is a horrible, rare situation which we haven't seen.
No.
I have never seen a wreck like that ever.
Yeah,
No,
that was,
that's true.
Not that hard.
That was
Likewise, yeah,
That
same
was
thing.
pretty wild.
So when you have such a strong rear end and front end, that is a dangerous situation. I think we need to protect drivers from. So let's just throw a caution. If you got a slow
Yeah.
car, throw a caution. It's not worth hurting one of these
And-
guys trying to keep the race green.
And to be fair, is NASCAR looking at it and saying, well, on the plus side, this would make the race a lot more interesting? I'm sure that
They
does come
could.
into
I
it.
got a feeling in
It
the heat
could.
of the moment when you're trying to do that and do your job,
You're not thinking about it.
I don't think so. I mean, we were part of a race one time, me and Matt, and just how fast everything happens all the time. It happens so fast. I honestly don't think you have time to even think about it. I didn't, being on pit road. I can't
Sure.
even imagine being on the box, or sorry, in the
booth.
booth and being the guy on the button. Like, you don't have time to think about that. It just needs to be black and white. Is
Yeah.
there a guy that is exposed? Do we need to protect him? Yes or no? That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I was just gonna say you brought up the term blindsided, and what it kind of made me think of is like there's a reason we use spotters. It's because these guys, they can't look around, they can't see what's
There's a lot of
going
blind
on
spots.
at the driver level. They have to rely on their spotters to know when they're clear, when they're going, and obviously that's at speed. But when you're going slow around a racetrack, I mean, you still have that, like when you're sitting in a race seat, I mean, you still have that big freaking thing next to your head that's blocking your view of your window and all this kind of stuff, and you got the Hans device. You're locked in. You can't really turn your head and see. So like
You can't see anything.
you can't see anything.
If you've ever gotten the
Except the
chance
front-
to sit in a
Yeah.
race car with a real race seat, like you can't.
Well, not to
see
mention,
anything.
you also have a
And
helmet.
the
The
fact
helmet's
that,
already
like,
going to block most of your vision, too.
Yes,
and you're gonna be going so slow that at least compared to the other drivers on the track, that your maneuverability to get out of the way, even if your spotter says anything, is not going to be good. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I agree with Jake. I think that if you have to be consistent, you have to throw the caution and keep drivers safe when they're
I love Kuzman's
having
question
issues.
here. He's like, how come they don't call cautions when someone runs out of gas, or do you think they should throw a caution for someone running out of gas? Right? How come they don't, or should they? I think they should.
I do.
If you have
Yeah.
a guy that is,
If you have track workers out on the track.
once you're getting below a certain amount of speed, let's throw the caution. Unless it's say like Indianapolis, maybe, where you have a pit road entry line that is between, it has grass in between,
Yeah.
it's significantly lower. Maybe at that point he's out of harm's way. But yeah, these other tracks, I agree 100%. I think they should throw a caution. He's probably not going to make it back anyways.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
mean, it didn't seem to be an issue, but it could have been. But like, even when Briscoe was going around the track slow today, you remember that when?
Oh, his
Yeah.
ECU failed or whatever.
At that
Yeah,
point,
it's
it
ECU,
was
but-
going to be a caution. You knew he was never going to make it back.
Yeah.
At that point, throw the caution
Just-
before the field
yeah.
starts passing him again.
That's exactly-
Why are we waiting?
There's
That is a recipe for a horrible situation.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It's like they were showing Briscoe, and then meanwhile Larson and Elliott are going by racing for the lead, and it's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, you got this dude going slow. He can't even start his car. Pretty much, he's pretty much just rolling and relying on momentum to get around the pit road, and he's on the backstretch. It's like he's not going to make it.
On a fuel situation or like this situation, if the field is coming around or the field is spread out and you have fast cars going around, come up with a threshold.
Yeah.
40 miles below the peak. I mean, we have a minimum speed for a reason.
What speed does a pace car go around at?
70. Don't go
Yeah.
that slow.
That's too low.
Depends-
Okay,
depends-
pit road
depends on the track.
pit road
I
speed.
think you get a threshold. If you're running at your peak speed, your average speed's 170. If you're 120, 110, and you're gonna be slow, let's protect these guys. That's all I'm saying. Let's protect these
So you're
guys.
saying like have a threshold speed for when that stuff's happening.
Yeah, and in the
Yeah.
moment.
So
in the
kind of
moment.
like
Maybe
F1.
Even if it's an eyeball test, like, man, he's really slow. We got the field coming back around. Let's protect this guy. Let's make sure we don't.
So kind of like
I mean, how many times have you seen there be contact and they spin to the? I mean, they have a wall on the inside of the racetrack for a reason, because they hit it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of these days, you're going to end up hitting a guy, going way slower, and it's not going to be pretty.
Or you
No,
could
it's not.
have
Do that.
you could have a guy that was like when we were iRacing that one time and decided that he didn't know there was a caution and just flew right by everybody and then tried to
All
slam
right,
on his brakes.
This isn't Arco. Chill.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say it reminds me like that idea.
I mean, there
kind of
could be
reminds
brake
me.
failures. There could be any.
It reminds me of F1, doesn't it, DJ?
little
Where they
bit.
have like a
Yeah, a little
minimum
bit.
speed. They don't have like a caution where they're gonna run a couple laps until they get the situation
The only
figured
thing
out.
is
They just have like a minimum.
They have full course caution.
They do. It's just
They do, but like they usually
But you gotta-
usually go the minimum speed route.
the
right?
problem. Yeah, the problem
Most of
with
the time.
the
Yeah,
problem
that's
with
what I'm
F1
saying.
though is you're obviously they're on road courses. We're mostly on ovals. That's obviously going to make
It's
it harder.
different, but
Because
like
you know,
it's
if you
the
slow down
same
to caution speed
idea.
on a road course, obviously you're talking
Yeah.
multiple minutes.
Sure,
Whereas you know, at our laps, it's what like today's laps times are what like 40 seconds.
yeah,
No, qualifying was like 30 points.
it was 30,
30 something. Okay, so that's my point is you got to make those decisions quick because the field's coming around. Like they're coming around quick. You got to make a decision and sometimes it'll be the wrong one, but you still have to make a decision good or bad quickly.
I think you have to make a decision based off of protecting these drivers. We just saw 2 weeks ago Kurt Busch retired out of the sport because of injury.
Yep.
We saw Alex Bowman miss races. He was racing a different series this year, but last year due to concussion.
Yep.
So like there is some things that still need to be worked out with this car, and until we feel like that is completely resolved, I just think we should throw a caution. Now, if it's a white lap, maybe it's 2 laps to go or something. I don't know. Maybe there's a threshold where you decide to risk it, and there is a little bit of a judgment call. Like, hey, you get paid a lot of money. This is a very risky business.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the race, you know, we're not gonna. We may hold the yellow to let the race finish. You know, because you know, especially like a super speedway, it may be more dangerous to do another green white checker. You know.
yeah. Super brief question. I just want to know because I just kind of came to my head and I'm curious. We obviously saw the Gen 6 get really safe, like just over the course of its evolution.
Super safe. I mean, even from
Do
the
we
get-go.
think that this gen car will ever be as safe as that?
So? Man,
Just out of
So I
curiosity.
think it's pretty safe.
I think it will.
Ryan Blaney's hit to me made me feel really good about this car because that hit was so. Ryan Blaney's hit at Daytona was so
Right.
insanely massive. The G forces, how much the wall moved, all those things, and then of course we saw Ryan Priest's crash right after. So I went from feeling kind of nervous about this car to feeling pretty good about this car.
Yeah, I
My
mean,
only real concern with this car going forward is if
Rear
it
end?
hits the catch fence.
mm,
Because the old car, being all tubing, would shred and disperse a lot of energy. This car, man, I'm telling you, it's so rigid. Look at the way Priest flipped, and the front end is twisted but still mainly intact. I'm worried this thing will literally launch into the catch fence in a dangerous way. And I mean, I hate to say that. It's kind of morbid. It's kind of dark. But honestly, I've even thought about. I've sat right where Ryan Newman flipped and got hit and watched him. He was literally at eye level with me, which was insane. I sat 10, 15 rows up from where Austin Dillon hit. I sat a few rows, half a section away from where Kyle Larson hit the fence at Daytona. Like, I'm tired of seeing race cars hit the catch fence. So much to the point I'm probably moving my seats and getting away from being so low because I'm just over it.
Yeah,
And I'm worried about this car just being so rigid that it's going to really be a dangerous situation.
It's gonna-
That's what scares me.
yeah. The basic physics says. I mean, the more rigid that car is, you know, like the more momentum it's going to have going into the catch fence, and the more rigid it is, the less it's going to break apart. Which means more of the car will be going towards the fence and not, you know,
That's what
bouncing
I'm
off
saying.
the fence, going back onto the racetrack, like you
Yeah.
saw with Austin Dillon and like Ryan Newman
It's
and all
like
those people.
what scared me about the Austin Dillon hit, like when he hit, like it was intense, and I was so glad he walked away and all that. It was a scary moment. But then like when all that adrenaline kind of drained and I was like looking around, me and Lindsay were there. I was like, there's 60, 70 feet where there is no more fence.
Yeah.
So I was just running the scenario through my mind. Like, imagine if another car had went in the air at the same time. There's no fence left. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the excitement and the whole experience of going to a NASCAR race, especially a super speedway. But I do worry. So remember back in the day, like Rusty Wallace's flip at Daytona. I think back to Darrell Waltrip's Davey Allison. Like when those flips happen, I mean, I even think about like how like the motor and everything was thrown out. Remember
Yeah.
even like when Elliott Sadler hit at Pocono, that massive hit, and his motor and the whole front end was completely gone, and it was just the greenhouse. The problem I see with this car, look
The
at
whole car's
Ryan
together.
Blaney's hit was so massive, and the connection to the greenhouse was still so strong.
Oh yeah.
So if the front of this car hits something like a catch fence, I don't think it's gonna break. I don't think that connection of the front end, the front clip to the greenhouse is gonna break.
I agree.
I'm afraid that that's gonna be too rigid and change the dynamic of what that kind of crash might look like.
And
that's
I,
that's
and I
very well
what
agree.
worries me.
And what's weird about this car, and like this might sound a little strange, but there's just like a vibe about it. Like when you, especially when you see him in person, and you go to Daytona and you get to walk down, like in the infield and look at these cars close up. It's like they look and feel beefier.
They look way heavier.
They're
I don't think they
heavier.
are. I
And
mean,
I
maybe
don't
they are a
think-
little
that's what I'm
bit, but
saying.
not crazy
It's-
amount.
It's not
It
that they
would definitely be
they
similar.
are, because they're spec cars, but it's like the way they look and the way they drive and the way that they, violently flip, like we saw with Ryan Preece. It's like these cars
But
are
like that
beefy,
car was
you
still
know?
so. I mean, it was obviously
Intact.
obliterated, but it was so intact
And it's just like
compared to the cars of years before.
Look at Newman's wreck. Look at that car that Newman was in.
Yes,
That thing is hardly recognizable that it was a car
yeah.
anymore.
Same thing with Austin Dillon,
And well, I don't think there was anything left to salvage from Austin Dillon's.
but it's just I mean, I agree. Same thing. I think I'm safe about. I feel good about driver safety. Maybe the concussion issue could be a,
I'll tell you.
I
You
think
know what
still,
makes me a
but,
little bit nervous? How high Ryan Preece went in the air.
Yeah.
There's some shots.
it's like 30 feet.
There,
30,
there's
35
some
feet.
shots that are back from like mid-level grandstands. I've seen on people's like phones and stuff captured, and he's higher than the catch fence on the backstretch.
That's wild.
That is freaking insane.
And what's crazy to me is that, like, let's say this, like, just for reference, this is the 500 and we were with Kurt and Dale on top of their, like, thing. We could see it from there.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that, like, I can imagine seeing that, like, that's higher than the catch fence, or just about
It's
as
nuts,
high.
bro. It's nuts.
And
So-
it's like, that's crazy.
But
to
that
me.
is also a product of that car being so rigid, getting into the ground, and all that kinetic energy having nowhere to go because the car's not dispersing it, so it's throwing it back up into the air.
Yep.
And that's why I was showing a buddy of mine at church today. I was showing I was showing the video of it. He's like, "That doesn't look real," and I was
Nope.
explaining it to him because the car is so rigid and doesn't disperse energy. All that energy just goes right back into the air, almost like a trampoline.
Yep.
Because that
Yeah.
all that
It's like
I mean, we're getting
like
way into the weeds
yeah.
of this, but all that kinetic energy of that moving forward at 200 miles an hour has to go somewhere. So if it hits and the car doesn't disperse, it has to go. If the car bounces up, it's all going to redirect up and forward.
Yep.
So I think that's just something. I really hope they've looked into that. I mean, we've seen Christopher Buescher have a pretty nasty flip at Charlotte. We've seen, what's his name, Burton flip at Daytona.
Yep.
Last
Did he
year.
almost flip or did he
No,
actually
he
flip?
flipped.
He
Yeah,
did.
he
Okay.
flipped. And then we saw, what's his name, 14 car, Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe.
He almost flipped last summer Daytona race.
Yep. And
Almost.
you called that.
And then
You're the one that said that.
We know.
We
and then-
know. We know.
Poor Matt's still traumatized.
this year at Daytona, we saw another massive flip. So I think there is what worries me is I think there is a real problem with this car that if it gets a little bit off the ground, it's going to get airborne in a nasty way. And there's a certain threshold, and it's not even about speed, but there's a certain angle this car gets the right direction and wants to flip.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I know Talladega's 3 weeks out or whatever, but I'm a little nervous, bro.
Yeah. But
But
I just wanted to ask because, like, I kind of felt like I feel confident in the car.
I
but I
feel
feel like
confident
this-
in driver safety 100%.
I do too. But
Maybe a
the-
concussion, but they hit really hard.
But it's just
so-
interesting to talk about, considering, like, obviously we've seen people retire also because of this car. So I just wanted to maybe cover that a little bit. But what do we got
Yeah.
next, DJ?
All right. So moving on. Next topic is we have a theory running We think that Larson and Elliott don't like each other.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh,
I mean, when
my
was the last
goodness,
time you
man.
saw teammates door banging off a pit road?
That's
This
right.
race,
Wow.
Watkins Glen, a year ago, there was another Auto Club.
Like we
and it's
said.
just it's funny. It's always Larson and Elliott. It's not Larson and Bowman.
I think
it's
that
not,
is.
This is not the first time with them two.
Nope.
Hey, man, you can't have two chiefs in the track.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
You have the most
I agree.
popular driver, and you have probably the best driver, arguably, in the world right now.
Yeah.
I mean, according to
Competing.
F1 and IndyCar, I mean, he was ranked number 1 in the world.
Yep.
So you have one of the best to ever do it and the most popular in one of the most popular motorsports, who was really good and a champion until Larson came and kicked him off.
For
the
a
street.
famed-
Hey,
for
I'm
a
all
famed-
for it, dude.
For
No.
a famed race team.
As,
I-
as
you
a
know,
Hendrick fan, I'm like,
prestige
come on,
race
man.
team.
Let's as a Hendrick fan, I'm like, let's get a family
I-
together and have a little therapy.
I sent a meme to our
Oh,
group,
man.
and it's literally like, what was it? It said the Hendricks meeting on Monday, and it's
Yeah.
the scene from Monsters University where they're just like the one guy staring at him, like crushing the can, just like.
I love what Kuzman says here. It must be
I
a
just-
Hendrick thing. Go back to Gordon and Johnson. 'cause
I
that's
just
literally
said that.
That's literally what
So
Jeff said
I
during
was
the
about
race.
to bring that up. And Jake's like, "Shut up, save it for the podcast." So I was like, "Okay."
Well,
So
perfect, Kuzman.
I
You
was
should have
about to
been.
bring, but yeah, Kuzman, I was gonna bring that up.
Hey man, with Madoff, we should have brought Kuzman
Hendrick
into the
is
podcast.
known for their teammates racing each other like dogs. That's just what it is. They want to win.
When you got
Period.
4 fast cars, that's
You
what's
want to
gonna
win.
happen, man.
It doesn't matter.
That's why I've never bought into the Hendrick has 2 cars or 3 cars that are fast and one's a research car. I've never bought into that
No.
because of the way Jimmy and Gordon race each other. You hear Dale Earnhardt Jr. talk about the envy
Yep.
of why the 24 was fast when he was there, and like there's so much competition within the walls of Hendrick.
Oh yeah.
There is no research.
It's
car.
like yeah, I feel like you've seen it before. It's obvious. Like when it comes down to it, like if they need to work as a team, they'll work as a team.
yeah.
But like,
But even
it's not.
think about Junior
even
back
then
in the day.
it's
They'd be
iffy.
like, remember they tried to start the team orders and they're all going to work together in super speedway. Junior's
No.
like, I'm not working together with any of you guys. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
selfish. I'm going
And
to lead
it-
every lap by myself.
and it's like, I mean, it has to be a desperate moment for them to work together. They just don't. And
They
the
just
reason
don't.
they don't, the reason they don't is because they know they're fast and they want to win.
They wanna win.
And
somebody,
Rick Hendrick,
somebody was saying, do you think Larson will let Byron win to lock himself in the
Nope.
playoffs? There's no chance.
No
bro.
chance.
Byron,
it's like you would like to
Larson does
think
not
that.
want to race Byron in Phoenix.
You would like to-
Larson is hoping Byron gets eliminated.
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like you would like to think that, but it's like it's not like one of those like, you know, I don't mean this in any like kind of way, but like obviously you saw Brad like help out, like he'll diminish himself to help out Chris Buescher. You've seen it, but like, you know, obviously if Brad doesn't got the speed, he's gonna help Chris Buescher.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and,
But-
and TJ
but-
Majors kind of talked about that on his podcast,
Yeah.
where he goes like, look, he knew there was no point in us racing until turn 4, because he goes, if we don't, then someone else wins and RFK doesn't win.
But
so like,
in the grand scheme,
once he realized they couldn't win, it was
in
like,
the
there's no
grand
point.
scheme of Hendrick history,
They don't care.
they don't care because they're all fast, and that's just what it is. And Rick Hendrick has always been super meticulous with who he picks and puts in his cars. And when he picks someone to put it in his cars, he invests in them. And it's like we were always wondering if William Byron was going to ever come to. He
You
didn't.
know,
Yeah.
You know, and it's like one of those things. Like he's a long-term investor in his drivers. So like
Yep.
these guys, like they race each other hard because they want to win.
You know,
So-
Rick Hendrick has a line, something along the lines of like, he's like, why would I pay to invest in a driver to like grow him and teach him? He's like, it's cheaper to steal him.
It's
True.
true.
Like Casey Kane, Dale
Oh,
Jr.
yeah. Oh yeah.
He stole Jeff Gordon.
Oh,
Jeff
yeah.
Gordon was a Ford driver until he stole him. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's just it's just
Kuzman's
crazy,
right.
man.
There's been a couple moments at Daytona where he's pretty sure Larson wouldn't stick in a lane with Elliott.
Nope.
No.
I do think at Daytona regular season playoff,
There
I
might have
do
been a
think
little
they
bit.
may work together in a situation, but I don't think it would be like where Brad pretty much pushed Buescher all the way to
Yeah.
the win. You know,
Yeah,
I
no,
think it would be a little more
no.
selfish coming maybe on the backstretch. Like Penske works together at super speedways probably better than any other team. RFK is giving them a run for their money until they get to turn 2.
Yeah.
Off of turn 2 on the white lap, Penske forgets about teammates. There
And
is
see,
no
that's
teammates,
why
which is
Penske
why they
always
wrecked
wrecks
in turn 3.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I think Brad, which I thought that was funny because, like I said, TJ's like, yeah, we knew that to race off of turn 4. I'm like, because Brad's tired of getting wrecked in turn 3.
It's so true. But yeah, no. I mean, being a Jimmy fan, I was a fan of Jimmy since his rookie season. So, like, I mean, obviously, I would always. My mom was always a Gordon fan. So my mom and I would get in the fights when they would race each other like dogs. Like, your driver freaking wrecked my driver, whatever. It's like it was so funny, good memories. But like, they always used to race each other like
I'll give
dogs.
you a little backstory. I used to hate. I'm a big Hendrick Motorsports fan now, but I used to hate Hendrick, bro. And then Junior went over there, and I was like, hey, these guys ain't
Hendrick guy, Hendrick
I used to be like, I used to hate Chad Knaus. Like, this freaking cheating, SOB, all the things. And I'm like, that Chad guy's pretty smart.
He's pretty good.
We need some of that in that 88 car. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's how it be, man.
All right,
But,
so
yeah.
we did have one on here. That I think we'll just skip. It's for Toyota winning 4 straight. Super cool for them at this track.
They got
Yep.
Kansas's
But
number.
I don't
man.
think there's really much to talk about there.
Got the
So we
setup.
will move on to our next section, which is the Kuzman and Friends question of the week. Jake, what do you have to add before we go to that?
Okay, you're gonna let me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say so.
I just know that if
Full
I'm going to
Cindy's.
another section, Jake's got
is this
something.
is
Full
this a
Cindy's.
track thing, or is this a once you kind of figure something out in the next gen, there's really not much more to figure out? Because we've kind of seen some consistency. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like mile and a half,
It's actually a really good question. I
mile
don't
and a
know.
halves, the Toyotas really show up. Short tracks, I think we've kind of seen the cards have kind of flipped to Ford.
They have a little
mainly
bit.
RFK though.
It's kind of hard to think about because it's been so long since our last mile and a half race.
That's
So
true.
I'm like, what?
Ryan
the-
Blaney won the last one, but I mean,
Yeah.
like for 4 Kansas wins in a row, is there just
I think it's
nothing
the
else
track.
they can do?
It's
Is
got to
there
be
nothing else any other manufacturer can do?
change their badge on their car. So no,
No,
I
I mean that's just, I'm just shocked. I mean, what other track have we seen complete dominance at besides Hendrick Motorsports Daytona 500 pole, excluding that, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
like an anomaly of its own.
I mean,
The
to be
wind
honest,
always blows the right way in Daytona when the Hendrick car goes.
Richmond
You've
with
got a-
Toyotas
you got a
used to
point.
be,
but now it's RFK.
but now it's our
well,
yeah.
not
Ford.
RFK, but RFK has won and kind of broke that up a little bit.
Yep.
Yep.
So I don't
What
know.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's just something
I'm
I'm thinking
trying to
about. Like,
think.
it is like a full press lockdown, mainly even 2311,
Yeah,
because 2311 was bad fast today.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think 2311 is willing to try a little bit different strategies and try. I feel like they're a little bit more of a risk taker.
But why
than Joe
why
Gibbs is.
this racetrack? How are both cars fast last year to sweep both races, and to be so fast this year to run great in the spring and win in the fall?
They just got to figure it out.
That's
They just
I mean,
have
that's
they
wild.
figured something out at this track, and it's just something about it.
So
it
what I
has to
wonder
be-
about so I wonder the reason why I ask all this is so for next year, is it going to be somewhat predictable? Is there not a lot of ground to gain?
I think there will be, only because if we look, there was fast Fords today, there was a couple of fast Chevys, but there was
Kyle Larson was fast last year, didn't win
Yeah.
the race. Byron was
Well,
pretty good
okay.
here last year,
Larson-
didn't win the race.
well, okay, but was that a
It's
strategy
pretty
call
similar.
or
What do
does
you
that
take
just how
away
the-
from last year besides Tyler Reddick won the race? I mean, you got to think back and dig back. I haven't. I don't remember,
remember, yeah.
from last year. But the point is, both 2311 drivers won
good
last
point.
year.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah.
when we think about this race and the spring race next year, those are the two takeaways we're going to take away. Is Toyota won both races. 2311 has won 3 out of 4. So is there just not a lot of ground to make up now? Are you just going to say, hey, the arrow, the toolbox, the tools we have, we're going to run our best, but we're not going to be the favorite to win?
yeah.
Is there going to be a cap of speed? Based off the
I mean-
aero profile of our car, we can only do so much.
I mean,
on
they
this
were
track.
doing 190 today, so I mean, I think we're pretty close to that point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing the qualifying speeds being very similar, better, but very similar to next year. I could so remember back in the day, like when they introduced the Gen 6, every year the car got faster. Unless there
Yeah.
was some
That's how it is.
major rule change of a high downforce to a low downforce that totally
Unless
upset the
it's
fruit
like a
basket.
specific package for a specific.
But when they were building
tracks.
cars, you saw a consistent improvement every year.
I think
I agree.
But
because
now
this
you
car
don't see
too.
that.
This car doesn't. But this car is also.
spec car.
Yes, but it's also.
Your tools are limited.
I don't want to say it's easier to drive, but you don't see drivers having to work as hard to keep the car under control. So, because loose is fast. I don't think you can get it loose enough to make it faster.
No, because
than where you're already at.
when you're loose,
It's
you wreck.
gone. Like it's gone. There's no
Yeah.
little gray area. It's gone.
I just wonder what happens 5 years into this car's development. I think, honestly, once we get maybe next year we'll be fine. But after next year, there needs to be a major upset the fruit basket to make these cars completely, where teams got to completely relearn how to be fast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be too predictable and it'll start becoming boring.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Part of me kind of thinks like, I mean, obviously, you're seeing like a lot of manufacturers. I mean, like we'll just keep on Toyota about being good at the mile and a half. I mean, do we think that Ford and Chevrolet will eventually figure out what they're doing, or at least develop something similar
do.
to compete with them over the next couple of years, or do we think that it's just going to be
I
a
think-
Toyota dominance at those tracks?
I
You
think
know what
the
I mean?
tech,
I
the
think they'll
sim,
get
and
closer.
the aero and all that is so good. Toyota has figured something out here that I don't know that they'll be beat.
It'll
Okay.
get there. Eventually, secrets will leak out.
So you
and
think they'll be
eventually they will.
competitive with them at some point?
At
and
some
you
Is it
point.
think that
secrets
maybe
or
they're
it's
gonna
okay? Hey, the way we generate downforce on the left, the front, the middle front bumper, or the right front bumper, the way we generate downforce, if we set up the right front suspension, I'm just being generic. I'm just
Yeah,
throwing stuff
who
out.
knows?
If we set it up just right, we have nailed this thing, and it is really fast.
Yeah, we're not changing anything.
Well,
Yeah.
let's say hey, you know what? This is really fast, but on the left front, let's make this tiny tweak, and it's even better.
Yeah, but we're,
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like at some point we're gonna hit a bump where it's like F1, where you are fighting for hundredths of a second
Yeah.
speed, not tenths. And for NASCAR to be good, entertaining racing where they can race side by side, you need tenths of a difference in speed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when you're like, I mean, I don't know if I'd label us.
That's when the driver talent starts
but-
showing up.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know if
I
you,
disagree.
When you're that close.
No, I disagree. I
Okay,
think that's
hold
when
on.
it becomes impossible to pass.
So you're telling me if you put Kyle Larson and you put Cody Ware in the exact same car, that they're going to run
No,
at very
that's
similar
different.
times?
One for one, Cody Ware isn't a NASCAR driver right now. Pick somebody else.
you have to pick like the worst person to pick.
Noah Gregson.
Okay.
You're pick. Why are you picking
I
all the-
agree with you. I agree with you. But that's like saying, Max Verstappen versus somebody who's running 20th in F1.
Agreed.
It's not
But
the
that's
same.
what I'm saying.
Sure.
Driver skill is going to show
But
up more
who's
when
what's
they're more
making
even.
Max Verstappen unbeatable? The
But
car or
what
Max
percentage?
Both.
You know.
Verstappen? All right.
Uh,
It's a fair point.
I think
I
Red Bull's
think-
on top, and
Yeah,
I think
but
Max
what
Verstappen's
makes
really good.
NASCAR exciting, passing. Like
Oh, I agree.
Tyler Reddick having that insane 2311 Toyota speed, passing Joey Logano, and
clean
Oh, yeah.
driver. Clean driver.
like from the top to the bottom,
Safe driver.
dive
Safe
bombing
driver.
in the corner, win the race.
Yeah.
If that gap keeps closing too much, you're gonna lose those moments.
No, I agree there, but I'm just saying as the cars and as the setups they realize what's the better setup to run. You're going to see drivers' talent shine more at that
I
point.
was gonna say, I don't know if you'd label us super fans. I suppose you could.
I mean, we do a
Of what?
podcast.
NASCAR, but like what I was. I
We-
mean, I,
we camp at
multiple
Daytona.
races.
I-
we attend 5
I don't
races
know.
a year, and we
I
have a
guess there's a
NASCAR
certain
paddock. I
vibe.
think we have met the mark.
I guess there's just a certain vibe to the statement that I didn't like. But anyway,
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
so but what I mean
It's
by
getting
that
late, y'all.
is going.
What else do I need to do,
going-
Jeff, to be labeled a super fan?
Shut up.
You have to own a race team.
I was just gonna say going into.
Oh, hold
like,
on. That was another thing.
Oh my
We've-
God.
Sorry. We've had
We've
people
worked
work
on a
out
race
your
team.
That is true.
Sorry,
Anyway,
Jeff. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say
Sorry, Jeff.
going
Go
into
ahead.
like those times
ahead.
where it's like, DJ, don't patronize me with that.
Maybe
look.
some of us are a super fan and some of us are not.
I am a super fan.
Well, I
but
can say I've never fallen asleep at Talladega, but that's just me. Go ahead.
Neither have I.
I was tired. It was an early day. It was an early
Slept
morning.
the whole way.
The only reason I can say that is because I have not been. So,
Anyway, I was just gonna say, going into like the fighting for the hundredths of a second and becoming like overall less competitive and overall less exciting racing, to us as quote unquote super fans, that stuff is still interesting to us, but like it would do nothing for bringing new people into the sport. So I mean, at least for me, like, I mean, I agree with Jake. You do have to kind of upset the fruit basket, and you do have to
I think
kind
you
of do
do, yeah.
something new. And I'm not saying like next year or anything like that, but I mean within the next 2 to 3 years, you gotta kind of do something at some point to.
I mean, we
to
saw it
make
with the
that more
Gen 6. I
competitive.
mean, they went from like super low downforce
Yeah,
to super high downforce and like back and forth a couple different times.
but what they did
know.
is by the end, I mean, like we weren't
Hey,
sad.
one of the coolest packages was super high downforce and super high horsepower.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was nuts. Like 220 miles in the turn one at Michigan.
I like it.
Oh yeah,
Bro, I missed that.
and,
Holy
and
crap.
it was
That
crazy
freaking
just
nuts.
because like
Give him a
by the
1,000 horsepower.
time
Do
the-
it.
Come on.
by the time the end of the Gen 6 was coming around, we were all kind of like, man, this like racing's super good. I want it to go. Like they had
I
it
was
pretty
ready
dialed
for
in.
something fresh. but
Yeah.
I think this car is really good. If they can fix the short track
Absolutely.
deal, we'll be all right.
Yep.
But anyways, moving on.
All right, so
Go ahead,
let's move
DJ.
on to our Kuzman and Friends question of the week. So
we
this
still
is
haven't got to that.
no, we have not, and we're only an hour and a half in. We're perfect.
All
right,
Ready
so-
to start
We're
a
doing
whole
good.
nother debate.
Yep. So stop bringing up topics, Jake. All right. So
I
this
did
is
it
our
too.
Kuzman
I
and
did
Friends
too.
question of the week. If you guys have a question,
Oh, we got points.
Don't distract
We
us.
got points.
Stop.
Oh, I thought I saw the point
Oh.
thing on your
And
phone.
there
So
they go.
sorry. Anyway,
If you have a question you want to see us answer on the show, then you can send it to us over on X. Still doesn't feel right. And just send us a
Gross.
message, and we will,
Gross.
if we like it, we will add it to the show. So,
Grody.
Jake, what is our Kuzman and Friends question of the week?
Do you see NASCAR changing the playoff format in the next few years?
No.
I don't either. Maybe the tracks for sure, but
The
that may
tracks,
change
yes.
based off the schedule.
The
But
playoff format?
The format
the
itself,
nah,
no.
it's too
Heck
good.
no, bro.
The only
It
thing
is so crazy. All the freaking boomers on Facebook
It's so
that think
good.
this is trash compared to the old season. I'm like, no,
No,
bro.
No,
that's the
this is
reason-
so much better.
That's the reason
So much
F1
better.
has
So much more
a lot of
intuitive.
the
They're like,
problems they have.
I
yeah,
will
but
say-
like just because they lock it up one race before doesn't mean. But I understand they locked it up one race before, but they basically locked it up 5 races before. But there was some ridiculous
Chance.
chance. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like this. I've watched
yeah,
racing.
this is so much better.
Since I really like. I mean, I can think back to my first full season of watching NASCAR.
All right,
was,
Nate.
yeah, I know. Was probably 1998, 1999, where I
Yeah.
can remember most. I can remember sitting down with the family and watching most of the season. So I've watched for a long time. I have watched all the formats because in 1999, 1998 is when we watched. There was the original
What, the Winston Cup?
accumulative points throughout the entire year.
Yep.
Right? No fancy things, no nothing. No bells and whistles. Just points per race. That was it. I watched through the chase era, through the playoff era, and now to where we're at now, which is like just a little bit different version of playoffs. This is the best, hands down. It's not even close.
I am in full agreement. The only thing, if there was something to change, and this is being pretty nitpicky, but like we kind of talked about it. I can't remember if it was on the show or
It was. I think it was
off,
a
whatever,
couple weeks ago.
where we were talking about maybe the Final Four doing a series
That's
instead
like
of
a
just
3-race
one.
series,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. I agree 100%.
I
that would
think-
be amazing.
I think if you
that
if
would
they
be
wanted
the
to
only
make
tweak
that,
I would change.
yeah,
That's it.
if there was a change and they were wanting to do that, I'd be down for it. But if they wanted to stick to it just as it is right now, as it sits, I'd be okay with it.
I'm
I
okay
think
with
it's
it.
great.
The only 2 tweaks. Either you rotate the final race.
Yeah,
But
I do
Phoenix
think that should be done.
selling out. It's hard not to selling out the
Yeah,
grandstand, selling out the camping. It's hard
sure.
not.
It's
to
the
sell.
championship race. Wouldn't that sell out almost anywhere?
You're not wrong, but I'm just saying, like we and Lindsay went a handful of years ago, and it was awesome. It was freaking incredible.
Yeah,
Oh,
too
yeah.
You're
bad the
there, and
track
you're
is
in that
terrible.
moment. You're gonna want to sign it again. It wasn't terrible.
absolutely.
Being there in person, it was super fun. Like it was a great time. Like it was awesome.
It's a
Especially
really
since
good
we had
environment.
never been
It's
there.
just-
That was
yeah.
our first time going there. It was super dope.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, like,
And they had just refinished everything. It was all brand new, grand. Remember, you know how we always talk about how nice Daytona is?
Yeah,
That's how Phoenix was. It was beautiful.
and that's
yeah,
pretty rare.
It's awesome.
It was incredible. And then we get like the I don't know what they call it, fan zone or whatever they call it, where you go down in the
Yeah.
racetrack, go through the tunnel, and the garages. So you know how Daytona has the glass? There's no glass. It's all open.
Oh, okay.
That's
And it's
pretty
like a
cool.
little wall, like a little fence, and
Nice.
it is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
So like Homestead, like I love that race for the championship, but like your fan access is trash.
Well, it's because
Sure.
there's
I don't
nothing
wanna
around
say,
that track.
let me not say trash because I do like Homestead, but it's not in comparison. It's trash.
yeah.
So I think they should sell the championship race to the racetrack that is going to provide the best facility, like they do.
Well,
the
look at it
Super
how
Bowl.
the I would
Sure,
say look
should
at how
sell
the
it.
Super Bowl does
Yeah.
it. They
And-
put it out like several years
Yeah,
ahead,
fine.
and usually it's the person that has the newest stadium,
That's fine.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to sell it, like you don't have to buy the right for it, but you have to have the nicest facility. You have to provide the ultimate fan experience.
You
and
got to
put a
prove you
bid
can
in-
handle it.
Put a bid on what you can provide. Excellent racing, excellent fan experience.
Yep.
Check all those boxes and roll with it. You know,
Sure. I
that
agree.
is what they should do.
I agree.
Or do a 3-race series.
yeah.
I
And
think
then I
they-
don't care where you end, as long as it's 3 good races.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely rotate. And you kind of started seeing that. Like, I don't know. Like, I was really hoping that was going to happen after they left Homestead for Phoenix. I was kind of hoping, like, hey, this is a good opportunity to maybe like race a couple of races. Like, it doesn't even have to be every year, but it could be a couple of years. Like,
Imagine go to Dover one year.
but that would be
That'd be
that'd be
wild.
pretty
That'd be
insane.
different.
Yeah. It'd be different.
Kuzman has a joking idea, I believe. Winner of the regular
Bro, I
season
actually
should
really
get
like that.
added into the championship 4. I don't mind that. My only problem is then what do they do the entire playoffs?
It's such a big advantage.
I feel like they have
That's
now.
such a big advantage.
What?
What do you mean?
He
well,
means
think about it. They're locked in the championship
is he-
4.
he's
They don't
talking
have to
about-
worry about the entire postseason.
He's talking about regular season champion.
like Martin Truex,
Going
right?
like Martin Truex.
Martin
being
Truex locked in
the
all the way to the
four.
Final 4 because he won.
Well, you'd
in
never
Daytona.
be able to. Oh, I mean, you could.
Make him
That
like a
would-
wild.
that would-
That
but
would
it's
be
like-
nuts,
isn't
bro.
that
Could you
such a-
imagine? You don't know what the regular season finale is until 10 weeks before.
But that's such
Imagine
a,
the drama and the excitement. Okay, Atlanta, you're gonna
I
have the
don't.
championship finale.
I don't think you're
Get
understanding
ready.
what Kuzman's saying.
No, he's saying winner of the regular season should get to pick the championship 4 race.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I
the
thought you
heart is
meant-
covering the pick. Oh, now that actually would
That's
be
pretty
wild
exciting.
because then
I
they
thought it was talking
they're
about just like lock, like if you
like
win
they
the
would
regular
lock
season
in.
championship,
I'm sorry.
you're locked
Yeah,
in the
there's
Final
like a little
Four.
heart icon
Okay,
above it.
my bad.
Yeah,
I
I
was
misunderstood.
going based off of what DJ was saying.
Yeah,
so.
sorry.
Yeah, that's dope though.
No, that's actually
That's
pretty sweet because you
actually
know they're
kinda
going to pick
sick.
a racetrack that they're good at.
And they should get an advantage.
Yeah.
You're the best all year.
The only problem is that puts a heck of a burden on
NASCAR.
NASCAR and all
Why?
the tracks. Because what if they pick
It's
a track that
traveling
isn't ready?
circus. You have 10 weeks to figure it out.
Okay.
Give me a freaking break.
Bowman Gray,
No.
Like-
you gotta say you gotta have parameters.
North
You can't go
Wilkesboro.
to-
like
North Wilkesboro's ready to hold a cup race.
it could honestly, that one could. The Rockingham, like
You're gonna have all the good super speedway drivers picking Daytona and Downey.
I mean, you might have to have some parameters.
Yeah.
Like it can't be snowing in that region. Like,
I mean, I don't know. They go to
want
Phoenix.
Atlanta.
I mean, Phoenix.
that
is-
would be. Imagine the hype that could try to create.
Oh, you could do all kinds of crazy hype. to it.
Atlanta?
No,
Or
I'm just
in
saying, like
general?
a
Oh, I
last
thought you
minute.
were saying-
Okay, in 10 weeks, the regular season champion has picked that. We're going there. That's dope, bro.
That, would
That
be
is
pretty
pretty
wild.
I think
sick.
I always like the idea as the champion of the year.
Before.
Say the champion of this year picks the championship finale race of next year in collaboration with NASCAR.
You could do something like that. That'd be a lot easier.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be a lot more realistic, to be honest. Like
Well, they want to
Logano.
sell it in advance. I mean, I think what they sold the what was it by April or whatever.
Something
the
like that, yeah.
championship finale is already sold out. That's crazy, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So okay, let's go ahead and wrap things up. So next week we are going to Bristol.
Bristol Night Race. Let's go.
This
Yay.
is probably one of my all-time favorites on the weekend.
This
I
is
grew
always
up
such
as
a
a
good
little
one.
kid. I can remember even,
Your parents getting mad at your parents because they went to Bristol without you.
Oh, even before that, when I was probably, I don't even know, dude, like 4 years old, 5 years old, sitting on the concrete seats on the backstretch. We used to always sit in Junior Johnson section on the backstretch, kind of like a couple 100 feet before the entrance of turn 3. It was just awesome, dude. Like, so
Nice.
Bristol holds a super special place in my heart, especially the Bristol Night Race. Like that is one of the all-time
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good race.
ultimate races for me.
That should be a crown jewel.
I am so excited. Friday night, Dale Jr. is running the Xfinity race. That's
Ooh.
awesome. Not that he's like a real favorite to win, but it's just so cool. I really want to try to go work that race with DGM. I might still try to. We'll see. If I can get on a plane on Thursday and just take off. Look, Lindsay's over here like,
He's
what are you
like,
talking about?
bro, what?
I want to go, man. My boy's going to be running a race, and I'm not going to be there. It just feels wrong.
Says the guy that has only just started really working with DGM.
No, man. I'm talking about Dale Jr., bro.
I know,
Dale
but, like,
Jr.
Oh, it doesn't feel
running
right
the
that I'm
race.
not there. And it's like, well,
But I'm talking about Junior, bro.
I know, but like at the, I guess
That
like
just
watch
hits
it.
different, dude.
That's true. So
Isn't he running
if
Homestead
I was
this year
in
too?
Jake's,
what?
He's running Homestead too,
I think
which
so.
I'm pretty sure, nothing confirmed. The plan is to try to work that race with DGM, me and Matt. So that'd be pretty cool. Work a race at Dale Jr.
if I was,
The first race I've ever worked, our pit stall was next to Larry McReynolds, and the next race will be we'll be running a race with Dale Jr. Like, life goals, bro.
I mean, like, I can't
We've
talk.
come so far in 6 months.
I can't talk because if I was in Jake's position and it was Jimmy, I would do the same.
Bro,
thing.
that's what I'm
so
saying. Like,
I understand. So is what I'm
and
saying.
wait till you're like 5-6 years removed from him running Cup.
Oh yeah.
And he
It
comes
just
back.
hits different, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm missing Jimmy now too, bro.
Yeah.
Did you hear? I guess talking about silly season, he said that he's probably going to run more races than what he was planning on running this year. When he runs
That's
the
interesting.
84
Yeah.
is going to be more part-time races. I freaking love Jimmy Johnson, bro. That dude's passion and love for racing.
Oh yeah.
That dude just wants to race, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, obviously he had planned on running some races this year and had to miss out due to some personal stuff, but which I was pretty disappointed about. But yeah, so I'm looking extra forward to next year when we get to see him run some more.
It'll be
gonna be
really
good.
interesting to see how this Bristol race plays out. You know what I mean? With the short
Yeah.
track package and everything that's going on, traction compound. I mean, I haven't really heard a lot of details about what they're planning on doing as far as, and they don't use the PJ1, they use the other stuff, the resin or whatever, I think
Yeah.
now. So it'll be really interesting to see what they plan on doing.
Yeah, it should be. Sorry, I'm looking up. Kuzman asked how many drivers, how many
Get wrecked
championship drivers wrecked out. It was a decent amount. I was trying to see. I guess just Truex technically wrecked.
I think
out.
I think he's saying that in a response to something else. Maybe Atlanta. I don't know.
Regarding I
don't
guess
know.
regarding
It's hard with this
Bristol,
YouTube delay.
Yeah.
I guess regarding Bristol, does anyone have like a top pick that they see doing good?
Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I mean
Definitely.
Kyle Busch for sure.
I think Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick.
He's gonna have
yeah.
momentum.
Tyler Reddick.
Momentum's a big deal.
Kyle
Busher.
Larson was running really good.
Busher, Brad.
Oh, he's saying for Bristol. How many championship drivers wrecked out for Bristol? Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh,
I mean, Bristol's pretty tough, man.
Yeah, that is true.
I think I
Yeah.
was looking at the results from last year, had 8 DNFs. So, I mean, you
Ooh.
got to imagine there's going to be a few of those are going to be championship guys.
Yep.
Yep,
That's definitely true.
for
but-
sure.
All right, you
I
guys
think
got anything?
We have trucks,
Sorry.
modifieds, Xfinity, and Cup this weekend. It's
I'm
4
Jeez.
fan-freaking-tastic
I'm
races
actually
this weekend.
really excited for the modifieds, dude. The
You know-
modifieds at
Bro, that
Bristol
modified at
are,
Bristol race is insane. We'll have to hang out for that one.
Yeah,
It's,
that
that's
that's
a good one. When is
It'll
that
probably be on Flow
Friday
Racing.
night?
Yeah, no, it's on Thursday. I think it's. Oh God. Oh, I don't have practice this week. Let's go. We'll have to hang out.
Oh,
one. Truck race is on Thursday night. I'm gonna tell you, if you have never been to Bristol, one of the coolest ever experiences is after the truck race, when all the truck haulers leave, they open a section of the grandstands right where the trucks come down, the haulers come down. To anybody that's camping or even around the area, they don't really care. They tell you gotta have a ticket. You don't really. You just walk right in. And it is like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. Everybody's completely blasted. And because everybody's been drinking moonshine all day. And they bring all the cup haulers in through like the little like tunnel that through the grandstands that they kind of come into the middle of the racetrack. It is the greatest party of all time. It is so much fun. All the people who hate Kyle Busch, boo. All the people that like him, love him, and like everybody's cheering, yelling, screaming at each other. And then you yell at some guy, screw you, man, Kyle Busch, man, or whatever, and everybody like laughs and jokes and fist bump. It is the absolute coolest vibe. So if you have the opportunity to attend that, you have to attend. It is incredible. Great party.
That's a great thing to end on. So, all right.
Awesome.
Well, it's been fun, guys, but it has been an hour and 45 minutes.
Long one.
Longest podcast ever. So
we didn't have Matt here running his mouth the whole time.
We will see you guys next week after Bristol. See ya.
See ya.